Welcome to the CatFiveBoys podcast. I'm your host, Matt, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Maddie,
Hey guys, how's everybody going?
and I'm here with my other co-host, George.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
And today we have a special guest, Ethan, aka E on the mic. Say hi, bud.
What's going on, everybody? How's everyone's day going?
We have E on the mic today, man. Let him know a little bit. Actually, before we get into the introductions and everything, first, just get a couple of announcements out of the way. Um, First things first, hope you guys can enjoy the show and everything. If you guys can't catch the full shows, make sure to follow our clips accounts. We have Instagram, TikTok, and we post clips on YouTube as well at Cat5Boys for every single one of them. If you guys like the show, make sure to hit a like on this video if you're on YouTube. And if you guys like the shows and you're listening on a podcast platform like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, rate the show 5 stars, follow us on those platforms. And make sure to comment on either YouTube or Spotify. You can do either or. Drop the comments, guys. Keep the comments flowing. We love the conversations and we love the input from you guys, and we'll read it in the next episode. Every single comment that's left on one episode, we'll read it in the next one, and we'll interact with you guys in that way. We would love to hear it. If anybody is interested in being a guest on the show, if you disagree with anything I say, or you disagree with something George says, or Maddie, or anybody else who comes on the show, and you want to iron it out, or you want to get a little bit of a debating time, or you just want to have a conversation, feel free to send us a DM on Instagram at Cat5Boys and let us know that you're interested in being on the show, and we'll reach out to you and iron out the details. Disclaimer: the views expressed on the show by either the hosts or any guests we have on do not necessarily reflect the views of the show itself. Furthermore, another disclaimer: the topics we speak on at times can get a little bit touchy, a little bit sensitive, or just overall a little bit politically incorrect. So if you're not into that, and if that's not your thing, you're a little more of the sensitive or politically correct type, feel free to click off the episode, because this probably won't be for you. Without further ado, we'll start with the co-hosts. How have you guys' day been? How's everything been since the last episode? Go ahead, George. You start.
I mean, since last episode, nothing changed. Everything's basically the same so far.
Everything's been good, man. That's good. It's good to hear. What about you, Maddie?
Everything's been good. I cannot complain. Life is still treating me very well.
Praise be. And Mr. Ethan, give us a little bit of introduction. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. And what you do and what your interests are, man.
All right, so my name is Ethan, aka E on the mic, as an E. So what I do on here is this. So I do sports. I talk about sports. So whether it's football, basketball, I talk a lot about that. Currently, right now, I'm trying to get back into flow of, especially with the football season coming to a close. Super Bowl's this weekend, so lesser content there, and trying to get back into more of the basketball, especially with Jimmy Butler getting traded as well. However, I am 23, 6'2", if anybody wants to know about that. And I can't wait to start it off. And you can also find me on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, E on the mic or E on the mic S.
Yeah, we'll definitely have your links and all the ways you can find Ethan on in the description of this video for sure. And definitely we're going to touch on all those subjects and all those topics. But first, we're going to be doing a little bit of a Reddit thread. We're going to go through some Reddit posts here, and we're going to get all the reactions from the hosts and also the guests here today. So we're going to we're going to do relationship advice today. I'm going to read a couple titles. Y'all let me know if this is one that interests you, and we can go into it and give our opinion. And if not, we can move on to the next one. So we're going to start with this one. My girlfriend, female 18, told me, male 18, she wants to explore. How do I resolve this?
Explore, huh?
What do y'all think? Y'all want to go into this one, or
I mean, I would.
Sure.
What's another thread?
you said what, buddy?
What's another thread?
Another post?
Yeah.
Okay, so another one is wife, female 24, forced me, male 29, to file for divorce after our first failed attempt at sex. Says that I'm impotent.
Impotent.
Would y'all want to go into that one?
Yeah, let's do that one. Let's do that one.
All right.
Yeah,
We'll, we'll,
force them to file for divorce.
we'll start with that first one because E and George said yes to the first one, and then we'll move on to this one after.
Got you, my boy.
All right, so this one is pretty short. My girlfriend, female 18, told me, male 18, she wants to explore, quote unquote. How do I resolve this? So, well, for longer time, we weren't sexually active, me and my girlfriend, and to be honest, I was quite expecting something like this. Today, she told me she wants to explore sexually and overall live more of the teenage life. At the same time, she told me she loves me so much and doesn't want to leave me. But if she doesn't, she won't be happy in the relationship. I don't know why, but for some reason, I personally don't want an open relationship. Maybe I'm too insecure. I don't know. Maybe a pause, but it seems quite weird to me as well. I feel like we will be able to do something about it. What would y'all do? So this is definitely, obviously, something about polygamy. What are y'all's thoughts on? I mean, I can kind of discern what Georgie and Maddie's thoughts are on polygamy. What are What are your thoughts on polygamy, man?
So my thoughts here will be this. I mean, if you're gonna explore and you say love the person, right? But you want to explore, maybe you don't like that person anymore, honestly. Especially where they were young. You said what, they were 18? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, bro, they're 18 each.
Yeah, I mean they're young. They're still trying to explore things there. He may love her, but she may not love him back. You know, even though she says she loves him, but that's not the case if she's still looking around. So I mean, at that point, I mean, if you want to take a break, you can. But I think there's other fishes in the sea, honestly, than to be with her, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think to be honest with you, and you can see if we agree here. The moment my partner comes to me with something like that, an idea of that sort, yeah, it's over. It's definitely over.
No, I agree 100%.
Maddie, George, you guys
Or
have anything?
any idea like that, bro? It's the same thing, bro. That relationship is done.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to throw everything away just because of, I mean, how much sexual experience you supposed to have at 18? If you're rather normal person. So if you want to end everything just because of that, I mean, I don't think that's right.
Yeah, no, man. I mean, uh, polygamy. It's to me, it's a cancer to society. To be honest with you, and you know, it's been growing, I suppose, in acceptability. I wouldn't say popularity, but acceptability for sure. And it's like I said, it's just a cancer to society. And you know, the more we get into this whole, uh, treating hookup culture like it's cool and all, like it's okay, like it's normal, and it's if anything, you should be doing it because you should be quote unquote enjoying your 20s, enjoying your youth and your young years, and go party and go crazy and go have sex with a lot of people. We're gonna keep seeing more things like polygamy and all these type of things going on, and it's just cancerous to society to me. Yeah.
It is because a relationship is not based off of sex. It's based off of mutual love and respect for each other. Not, yeah, sex is important, in the relationship to keep everything nice and neat and keep a spark there. But to end everything just because it's bad, I mean, come on, like, you know, how much experience have you had that you think it's bad? You know?
Yeah, no, I mean they disguise it as that, right? Experience. So, what are your thoughts, E?
Yeah, it's crazy because now, like nowadays, like you say, it's everybody wants to go have fun in their 20s. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. But if you're in a committed relationship and you really truly love that person, not because of what they bring with their sex and all that, but what they bring to the table at the end of the day, you know, how much they show much affection to you at the end of the day, what matters at the point. But if you want to party, you can do that, but not at my expense. You know what I mean, Matt?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's definitely. I think you put the nail on the head there. Um, Not at my expense, because I think we were talking about this in the last episode too. A relationship is about respect, and the moment you start doing these type of things, where you start wanting to explore your sexuality, or you want to, have fun in your 20s, quote unquote, you get to a point where it's a fine line between disrespecting your partner and enjoying your 20s, quote unquote. But people who want to do that, just stay single, man. Just stay single. Enjoy your quote unquote enjoy your 20s, and yeah, do that. And then I suppose once you feel like you're, I guess, in the mood for a relationship or a serious relationship, something commitment based, then get to that point. But I don't know. You definitely hit the nail on the head though.
you just have to set it straight at the beginning of the relationship what you're expecting and what you want at the end of the day. You don't set the table right there, and then it's gonna be like that where, oh, can I go explore here or can I do that, when you know it can make you feel a type of way at the end of the day.
No, 100%, 100%. And I think people get their heart broken because they have this idea that the other person will change at some point. People can change, but I think if they're kind of steadfast on their ideas and this breaks your boundaries, you got to learn when to be able to just cut loose and just let that person go and explore what they want to explore, do what they want to do, and understand that that person is just not for you. If you have a boundary about something and you've established this at the beginning of a relationship and they break that boundary consistently and they're again steadfast and still breaking that boundary, then just move on. Obviously you're not compatible. But yeah, I don't know if anybody else has any other thoughts before we get to the answering part of this. Anybody else?
I agree.
I'm okay. I have nothing else to say.
All right, so this
I'm all set
is
here.
we said what?
I'm all set here.
All right, so this is relationship advice. So what would you tell this guy to do? Although I kind of discern we already got the answers to this, but I was supposed to go straight through it. What would you advise this guy to do? Maddie, how about we start with you?
I mean, I would advise him if she's really willing to, because she said she was that you said that she said they were married,
No, they're just dating. They're like boyfriend and girlfriend.
dating. Hey, my man, go find somebody else. There's no reason for you to feel bad about yourself or that sex is the only thing that makes or breaks a relationship. It's not, and if somebody acts like it is, then that person is not the right person for you because a relationship is not based off of sex. It's based off of mutual respect and love.
And you know what? There actually is a component of this that I wanted to also get you guys' thoughts on. He was open to the idea, or maybe not open to the idea, but he kind of hinted to the idea of taking a break. What do you guys think about taking breaks in relationships?
Bro, breaks in
Uh,
relationships don't work at all, bro. Like breaking up.
Yeah, breaking
I
up
would
for
agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead, E.
I would agree with George there. It's pretty much a breakup. When they say a break, that means they're already interested in somebody else at that point, but they didn't want to tell you, hurt your feelings there. So they're just like, oh, let's take a break and we'll come back to it maybe in a few months or years. It's like they don't truly love you like that. At that point, it's a breakup. At that point, I ain't no, oh, we'll take a break. There is no such thing as that. I mean, if you want to bring that person back, you could, but are you just playing yourself at the end of the day? That's the thing there, Matt. Mm.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, you ever ask for a break? That's because like you said, man, you're interested in someone else, and you're trying to get, you're trying to get the the pleasures of it without the guilt of it. Because obviously, it's fine because we were on a break. It wasn't cheating or anything like that. I mean, at that point, you get back into that relationship. Your girl, your at least your partner, they explored. You know what I mean, and you might not like the way they did it.
No, 100%.
All right,
I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
all right, all right. What E? What would you advise this young gentleman to do?
What I advise him to do, there's plenty of fish in the sea. It's gonna be tough to let her go because any relationship that any of us been, we all have been through breakups, and it's tough, you know, to go away from someone like that. But at the same time, it'll save you headaches and it'll save you time to focus on yourself. If she wants to explore, let her explore. Maybe she'll come back, but that's not highly unlikely. But I would just say move on, enjoy your early 18s to the 20s until you feel you're ready to go into another relationship.
All right, all right. I don't know if George, are you here yet, or I think he left. Yeah, he
In
left.
5 minutes, you'll be back.
Yeah, he did. So we'll just move on to the next post, and we'll get his opinion on that on the next post after. But we'll move on to that next one that I read after that. Oh wait, did I give my advice? I think I did, right?
I believe you did,
Uh,
yes.
Okay, all right. We'll move on to the next thing. All right, here is this next one. My wife, female 24 years old, forced me, male 29 years old, to file for divorce after our first failed attempt at sex. Says that I'm impotent. Um, TLDR, we were both virgins when we got married. I gave her space and thought she didn't want to get physical until we were close enough. After 3 months on our first attempt, I got soft due to nervousness and anxiety. Also, we had almost 6 hours of foreplay, which didn't help either. Sex isn't the most comfortable topic to discuss at where I'm from, and I didn't read enough before our first time. Now she told our sorry, he wrote this wrong. Now she told her, and mine entire family about how I'm impotent and forced me to file for divorce. So a little more detail. I am from South Asia where arranged marriages are still a thing, and we've had an arranged marriage by family almost 4 months ago. We chatted and talked a bit before our wedding, but still we were literally strangers when we got married. So I respected her and gave her space. I wanted everything to happen naturally, like holding hands, then kiss, then touching. You get the point. Every week I requested her to share with me if something is bothering me, but she didn't. I will be honest, it took me a while to feel close to her. First 2 weeks I might have been a little distant. To give you an example, I took her to dates, bought flowers, chocolates, etc., the usual things. But maybe I'd return to my home at the night time before where I could have left in the next morning. We live in different cities. But it's not like I avoided her or anything. It's just until then I wasn't as close as she'd expected me to be. Due to my work, I could only visit her during the weekends. Anyways, after a few weeks, I used to be very attentive to needs, checkups, and her every time I'd get a chance. I've made arrangements to move her to my city and live with her from February 1st. We've had zero issues until recently. Then on 18th of January, we had our first failed attempt at sex. I requested her to try again, but she didn't agree. Rather, she made an appointment with a doctor on the next week about my going soft. At first, I said, why go to a doctor? It can happen to anybody. Rather, let's spend some time together again and try. She insisted, and I was completely on board with the idea of meeting a doctor and clear all her confusions. Also, during the week, she collected my doctor's prescriptions and requested me to give her our marriage license.
Oh shit.
But the day before the doctor's appointment, she told me she had to go to another city because she wanted to visit her grandfather who was very ill. So I didn't go to her place on the 25th of January. She has been very distant to me and talked to me in a very rude way since our first failed attempt at sex. She wouldn't pick up her phone and wouldn't call me back. So for the first time ever, I complained and had a heated argument with her on the 26th of January. On the 27th of January, she called my sister crying and told her that I've used inappropriate words with her and that I'm impotent. Well, to be honest, I used two hurtful words with her, and she was much more hurtful and rude. All I asked was to come to a solution and work on our marriage. After seeing her upset, I went to her place the next day to reconcile, and she wouldn't even open the door. She didn't pick up her phone, and neither did her parents. After so many tries, her father told me that she was far away, but later confirmed that she was at home. Now, I tried to have a conversation with her on 2nd of February, and she used the whole time to complain about how I was a bad husband and impotent. She told her entire family and mine that I'm impotent. I've literally begged her to come to a solution and work on our marriage, but she didn't. Basically, the rest is, he got a legal notice to get her divorce, and he filed today. He's heartbroken and a little numb. Um, he, just to read the last paragraph, I spent everything in that I've saved in the last 5 years of my career and some more on a wedding and her. I gifted her a 14,000 USD worth of gold, which I don't want back. And on her wedding day, another $20,000 on the wedding. I even left
Oh
my
my
iPad,
god.
camera, and so many things at her place, and she wouldn't even return my personal stuff. Can you tell me, how do I get back to normal? I feel cheated, betrayed, and very sad. That was a long fucking post. I apologize to the listeners and everybody.
Wow.
But yeah, what do you guys think about that? That's a doozy.
Okay, I think that she really never liked him. As soon as she saw that, she used it as a scapegoat to get out of the relationship.
Yeah, it's an arranged marriage, so I mean, shit. I didn't even know you can get out of one of those, to be honest. But
You could, if the other person is good at sex.
if his dick goes limp, time for papers. All right, shit, that's crazy. What do y'all think about that, Maddie? What do you think about that?
I think that's fucked up, man.
What
And
about
the fact that she left him after he spent what $14,000 on a ring and then another 20,000 on something else, bro. Like,
what about you, E? What do you think, man?
34,000 for a wedding ring and for the wedding. Yeah, it's tough. It really is, especially especially his arranged marriage. He paid for everything. It lasted for 5 years. He couldn't get it into bed, and then she started telling everybody in the family. It's just not a great look, honestly, and not a great communicator, as you can tell from that story. Nothing at all. And just to answer the question for what he should do, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take time for him to recover from all that. Especially getting divorced. That's like the worst thing. You're at your lowest. But it's gonna take a lot of time, and he will prevail. He will prevail, but it's gonna take time. It's gonna take building blocks to recover from that. So it's just a sad story, honestly.
Yeah, that is a
It is sad.
nasty. That's a nasty bug, man. It's a nasty bug. George, you got something to say about that, buddy?
But that's what happens with arranged marriages.
I actually disagree. I think arranged marriages are good, but um, that's what happens when you have a very unsubmissive woman who doesn't listen to you and is quarrelsome and nagging, right? So, we see the problems here, guys. But nonetheless, um, to buy her 14. Yo, Georgie, we can hear echo in your
Oh,
mic,
sorry.
buddy. That's okay. But to buy her $14,000 worth of gold and not want it back, that boy must be soaking in cash, bro. Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, he already spent 14K on a ring and then 20,000. What was it? 20,000 out of his own pocket.
No, cuz
Yeah, bro.
$14,000 worth of gold and 20,000 on a wedding ring. And he
Yeah,
don't
this
want
man
any of
has
that
a.
Boy,
back.
Obviously, he's got money, bro. That's not a problem for him. He's like, you know what, you keep it.
maybe he doesn't want it back because it might remind him about her. But then at the same time, you could always pawn it, and then you don't have to see that ring again.
That's what I was thinking. Like, bro, you take the gold, you take it back. The wedding ring, you take it back. Take it to a pawn shop and change that for money, and just put it in your bank account. And you won't even know what it is, bro. It's just another number. But damn, for that man to spend that much money and not want it back, that boy is sitting in cash like no other. But no, like
Because you're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get that money back from the wedding. That's for sure.
no, no, that shit already went to the pockets of whatever company you sought out. But no, like E said, man, I agree 100%. It's gonna take time. 100% is gonna take a lot of time, and that's a very nasty situation. Those are the type of situations that take a lot, even more time to get through. But simply just, you know, get away from her, get away from that situation, man, and focus on yourself again. Don't be a simp and fight for a chick who don't want you because she obviously didn't want you. And yeah, man, eventually it'll get better. You find yourself a new woman who's actually respectful, who actually is you
Values you as a man.
exactly values you as a man, you know understands when things like that happen, and won't shame you for it or nothing like that. You'll find yourself a woman who's worth it, who's worth the $14,000 worth of gold and the $20,000 on the wedding and the ring. You know what I mean? I mean, you'll find one. It just takes a little time, like E said. But besides that, that would be my advice to this guy. He was my friend. He's like a brother to me. He's coming at me with this stuff, and he's like, bro, what should I do? But first things first, divorce her, bro. Finalize that damn divorce. To be honest, you take all that money you got, because it seems like I got a lot of money, bro, and just move to a different city, bro. Move to a different country or something, bro. Take your expertise to a different country or something, bro. Start a new, don't start a whole new life or nothing like that, but just forget about that chick, forget about her family, and just worry about yourself, bro. Get even more of your money up. Find yourself a good girl who's gonna give you a good family and respects you, and the rest would be history. Maddie, what do
I
you?
just hope he had a prenup. Sorry to interrupt there,
Shit,
but
yeah,
I
no,
hope I hope he had a prenup.
I hope so too, bro. 'Cause she would have taken 50% of his shit, but I don't know how it works in. I forgot where he said he's from, Taiwan or some shit. But I don't know how it works over there. But
China, I think he said.
some shit like that. But I don't know how it works over there. But Maddie, what would you give him as advice? He's coming at you. He's your brother. He's your best friend. Your homie. He's coming at you with this shit. He's asking you for your advice. What are you telling him?
What am I telling him? Go get that ring back and forget her, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, but go get that damn ring back. You can't get the money you spent on the wedding, but go get that ring, put that shit back in your account, bro. Then move on. Move on.
I will say the same thing. Move on. I will get the ring. Now it will probably be difficult because I know in that story it was difficult to communicate with her and with her family. So you might have to go through court with that, and that's probably why he doesn't give a fuck about the ring anymore. So I'll say the same thing. What Matthew said there, honestly, and then work your life out there. Move on.
I agree. I agree. What about you, George? You have any advice for this guy?
Yeah, bro, just agree with you guys. Just keep moving on.
All right, bet we're gonna do one more post on this thread, and then we're gonna move on to the next topics. Let me know if you guys are interested in this one. My boyfriend, 37 male, lied to me, 33 female, about going to therapy. For lying. What do you guys think about that one? You want to do that one?
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, cool. Let's get it. As the title says, my 33 female boyfriend, 37 male, of over 6 years, with whom I have a 2-year-old child, has always had a problem with white lies. After coming to a breaking point where he lied about female coworker going to check on our house while we were away, he lied by omission, and I discovered it while snooping. He agreed he had a problem. Since then, I've struggled with trusting him and told him he needed to start therapy to fix this. For the past months, he's been seeing a therapist on Zoom, telling me about his sessions, saying what they've discussed, what his homework was, etc. I've always felt in my gut that something was off, but I chalked it off to him being uncomfortable talking about therapy. Well, after a conversation about how we both might be depressed, I told him about my suspicions. He started with downplaying it, saying he lied about canceling sessions a couple times, but when I asked for proof that he did see a therapist and he couldn't offer one, he finally told me it was all a lie. Where do we go from here? I'm assuming this covers up something much more nefarious, but he swears it doesn't. He says it's issues with facing his problems and demons, that he's never learned how to express his feelings, etc. How can I help him through this, and is it worth it? What do you guys think on that? We'll start with you.
And
We'll start with you, Maddie. What do you think?
I think she should try to trust him a little bit more, man. I mean, she said that he's been doing it on Zoom.
Uh, yeah, on Zoom, yeah.
I mean, how can you really show proof of that? You know, it's not like you could go
I mean, he
in.
said it was
You
all a
know.
lie, though.
Oh, he said it was all a lie.
Yeah, he said he finally, or rather, the post said he finally told me it was all a lie.
Damn.
Yeah, you can see where the trust comes into play there, Matthew. Where
Yeah,
it's like,
man.
well, he literally lied to her, and then now it's like, well, how do I know you're actually talking to a therapist about what you're talking about?
Damn.
Think about it.
Yeah, man. At that point, a little bit of a
The trust is gone at that point.
yeah. The trust is definitely gone about that. Georgie, you have any thoughts on this, man?
No, he shouldn't trust. That's it.
All right, Maddie, you have anything to say?
Short and sweet.
Damn. Obviously the trust is broken. If you can't communicate that, you either something was already wrong with the relationship that you can't just be honest with them and just be like, hey, I haven't been going. Oh, but you've been saying you were getting help, this and that. But the fact that you just can't be truthful, why? Is it because it's gonna be cause problems? Was there no trust in the beginning? Is you trying to get back? All these things are in play, and it's what's the reason of lying about that? Just be truthful and just be like, hey, I haven't been going. I don't think I need to. Yada yada yada. Deal with it or not. You know.
Yeah, I think she's definitely with a little bit of an immature guy. To be honest with you, I don't think he's doing anything nefarious in my personal opinion. I don't think he's like seeing another woman or he's like, doing some crazy shit. I just think he's a compulsive liar and he can't stop himself from lying. And which is obviously not a good thing, but that's I don't think he's me personally, I don't see here that he's doing anything else crazy. Like, oh, he's cheating on me or he's fucking dealing drugs or some shit. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, I mean, first off, he has to be truthful to everything he kind of says there. Honestly, I mean, if he already lied there, of course you will have suspicious there. So that's where he's on the rocky boat there. And then when he starts saying, "Well, I don't know how to express myself," listen, I was a guy that couldn't even express my feelings at all. But it takes teeth and nail for me to actually show actually emotion there, because us men is like, hey, if you show any sign of weakness, what are you? Start looking you weird. But you gotta be communicative, especially in a relationship. You know, that's where trust builds. From there, if you start keeping secrets, you start keeping to yourself, then things are going to start getting rocky, like that situation where he's at right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, Maddie definitely knows for sure. I don't really believe that a man should be open with his emotions. Like, people like to portray as like, oh, you should be open and honest with your emotions and cry with me, and like express your when you're sad or mad or your frustrations. I don't think a man needs to do that. I don't think that's what this guy needs to do. I think what this guy needs to do is stop fucking lying, bro. Especially about the stupid little shit. You know what I mean? And just understand that this is affecting your woman, and in turn your whole family. You doing these little white lies and all these type of things. And with this girl, don't get mad at him for this shit. You know what I mean? It might be tempting to get pissed at him and start fucking yelling at him or some shit, but just don't. Just hold off. Let him know that he shouldn't feel scared to tell you things and whatnot. Because at the end of the day, bro is acting like a baby. Treat him like a damn baby. You know what I mean? And get him to a point where he will go to the therapy and work on that stuff, and you know, get there. But definitely don't
Yeah,
leave him.
because then again, a lot of men, which is what I talked about in a few episodes ago on men's mental health. A lot of men are too prideful to go even see a therapist. So that's probably also what's going through his head. He's like, I'm man enough to deal with my own problems without having to pay somebody hundreds of dollars just to listen to me and just not give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, dude. I mean, to me personally, therapy is a little horse shit, but I mean, I suppose I'm not gonna speak in absolutes. There probably is somebody out there who it works for, cool, uh, but it's just not my thing, and I would probably say that it's not most men's thing to go to a therapist and do that stuff. But find some type of outlet. You know what I mean? If you want to go hunting with your homies and go do that with your brothers, whatever, go do that. If you want to go to the gym, pump some iron, go do that. If you want to, if you're religious or whatever, you want to go to a church, go to church, go to a priest, talk to a priest about it. Do something along those lines. You know what I mean? It's not always therapy is the answer and whatnot, but definitely you got a problem, dude. Seek some help. You know what I mean? Because lying like that and feeling that need to lie, you know, I've seen it with my own eyes, and it's not a fun thing. It ruins relationships. It ruins families. It breaks apart stuff like that, and just get help, bro. Just get help. And for the woman, don't leave him, because at that point you'd be breaking apart your family yourself. Just hold on to him, and as the wedding vows say, I know she's not married because she called him her boyfriend, but uh, you know, as the wedding vows say, for better for worse. So get there. Anybody have any final thoughts on this?
I fully agree with what you said, my man.
What about you? You have any final thoughts, man?
Yeah, I agree there. As long as she can tolerate him with his BS, at the end of the day, I mean, you can work through it, but it all could determine on him. Can
Yeah.
he stop lying? Can he pull himself together? Because it can happen. It's only him can do it. He can only do it. Nobody else. It's like that saying, I can take the horse to the water, but I can't force the horse to drink it.
I literally said that last episode too, man. Great minds think alike.
Oh yeah,
What about you, Georgie?
we say it every day now.
Nah, man, I'm okay. Got nothing else to say.
All right. So when it comes to advice for this person, just again, they're coming at you like their family. They're asking you for advice on this subject. What are you telling them? Let's start with you this time, man.
So what am I telling her? So I'm telling her is this: try to get him to seek help the best as you can. If he refuses, like you say, you don't want to tear up families apart. But if he doesn't seem like he's improving and so, or he wants to, then why stick with somebody that doesn't want to improve or still be childish? You want someone that's more confident, that will be leading with your family. Honestly, but get him the help. See if he can actually work on it. But if he starts BSing and he starts lying, then it's kind of a lost cause.
I agree. I agree. What about you, Maddie? Any advice for this person?
100%, bro. Like, just like I said, a relationship is the basis of a relationship is trust and honesty. If you have to lie about certain things, is it, it's just me. I think everything through. It's more logical just to talk about the problem rather than letting it turn into something that is going to cause a relationship to be torn apart, a family to be torn apart. At the end of the day, it's not worth it being torn apart. You just need to talk and have respect enough for each other to, hey, this is the problem. You're doing this, this, and this. That it's making me feel this way, and this thought's been going through my head. And then he should be man enough to be like, hey, you're right, my bad, this and that. Because he has to be man enough to own up to it. Be like, hey, I don't want to go to therapy because I don't need it because I can take care of my own problems. And yeah, but then again, a lot of guys aren't like that.
Insightful, insightful. Well, you know, as I said before, don't break up your family over it. Trust your guy. Support him to get to therapy and what he needs to do. And yeah, man. I mean, you know, pray to God, pray for the best. Get to a point. But that's gonna be it for the relation. Unless anybody else has any last words to say, anything else? No, all good there.
Nah, I don't have anything else to say, my brother.
No, we're
All good
good,
here.
buddy.
All right, beautiful. So done with the relationship advice. Let's move on to the next topic here. I want to talk to I kind of want to talk about. We have the Super Bowl coming up this weekend, very soon. The Chiefs versus the Eagles. I believe this is their second time facing each other in recent memory. Um, but we got the Chiefs versus the Eagles Super Bowl, whatever the Super Bowl it is. But it's coming up this weekend, very very soon. E-man, what I want to go through each and every one of us, but we'll start with you, E. What are your
Mm.
predictions on this Super Bowl score wise? Who do you think is gonna pop off? Who do you think is gonna have a phenomenal game? Who do you think is gonna suck this game that maybe shouldn't, or whatever the case? What are your predictions on how the Super Bowl is gonna turn out, man?
So let me go straight off the bat. I know Matthew's not gonna like this one. I got the Chiefs over the Eagles. I'll explain why. I'm gonna explain why. Now, you look on paper, the Eagles look like the better team, the perfect team on offense and defense. Correct? Now, you look at the Eagles with Saquon Barkley. If you're the Chiefs, you gotta stop Saquon Barkley. If you can allow Jalen Hurts to throw you, hey, you can live with that. Or throw to AJ Brown or Devontae Smith or Dallas Goddard, you can live with that. But you have to stop Saquon Barkley if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. Because if he starts going off like the Commanders in NFC Championship game, where he just ran on the first play of the Eagles drive, a 60-yarder, it's gonna be a long day. And then that's where it becomes closer, and then maybe the Eagles could win that game. But if you're the Chiefs, you gotta stop Saquon Barkley. You gotta capitalize on those offense because let me tell you that Eagles defense will come through. Will come through and rattle on Patrick Mahomes. It's gonna be close. The score is gonna be 27-24 Chiefs. Gonna be a tight one. Gonna be a tight one. Now for the Eagles, they gotta get Saquon Barkley rolling and everything on offense to go, especially for Jalen Hurts. He cannot fumble that ball. Last time he was in the Super Bowl, he fumbled that ball late in the second quarter. So they gotta step it up. But I got the Chiefs going a three-peat. As much as I hate to say it, but I see a three-peat in their future.
Yeah, I think it's considering how they've performed this year is a little bit hard to go against that. Georgie, it seems like you
I,
got
I
something to say,
wanna
man.
I wanna say
Yeah,
something,
go
bro.
ahead, go
Like,
ahead, brother.
I feel like this Super Bowl has been rigged.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Georgie, what are your thoughts? How do you think this thing is gonna go come
I
Sunday?
mean, you know my opinion, bro, but I'll say it. If
Chiefs keep winning the way they're winning, controversial due to the ref. Um, it's rigged, I say, because every game this season, every single game except
I've won with controversial calls by the referees. There was a game against the Bengals that I don't know. They ran a play in the third. It was 3rd and 9. They ran a play. No whistles were heard. Nobody heard a whistle. Nothing. The play ended. The Chiefs got off the field, and then the referee said, "No, the Chiefs. The play was dead, even though nobody called timeout. Nothing. Apparently, it was dead. It was a dead call. Then there was a holding call that was called to end the game, which wasn't even a holding call, but." Every game that these people play is controversial, and it's the referees helping them. That's why I say this Super Bowl is it's rigged, and we already know who the winner is gonna be. Uh,
So
I
y-
wish it wasn't.
so you would say
I
this
wish
Super
I wish it
Bowl.
wasn't.
So you would say this Super Bowl rigged in favor of the Chiefs. That means they're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Your prediction.
yeah.
You think it's gonna be a close game? Like I feel like most of the games where they give them like the calls and shit.
Every game they play is close. They have to make it close to make it look believable.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's also gonna be a close game. Maddie, what about you, man? What are your thoughts on how this game's gonna go and who you think's gonna win?
I think the Chiefs might win again, but the way
Georgie,
the Eagles
mute
have been
yourself when you're
playing,
not speaking, please. Thank you, buddy. Anyways, Maddie, go ahead.
I really I feel that the Chiefs aren't excuse me the Chiefs uh have a high chance of winning again. This is this game I feel is going to be very close, starting maybe from the first quarter. But with the way the Eagles have been playing, they've been very good. Their streaks have been high. Their points have been good. Their defense has been amazing. Not even to mention their offense. But the way the Chiefs play, they undermine whatever team they're playing in the first three quarters, and then if they're down by the third quarter, they Mahomes knows how to play it. All he does is, play for passes, and then once he sees everyone's away from him, what does he do? He runs and he slides just to get the first down all the way until he's maybe 40 yards away from the goal line. So he's good at that. But it's also the refs. So I feel if the refs aren't biased or paid under the table, like it looks like it has been, especially with the last Super Bowl of the 49ers and the Chiefs, then it might be another Chiefs game because it's not the Chiefs. Mahomes has surpassed Brady's scores already. He's a good QB. He's helped the Chiefs win. He's a great quarterback and he's still young. He has a whole career ahead of him. But I think the Eagles are going to take it because they lost a couple years ago and now they're ready to get their revenge on the Chiefs, man. So I got my money and I feel that the Eagles are really going to get it this year.
I'm on the same sentiment as you actually, Maddie. I'm more of a hope. I'm more of like the positive view on this, where we've heard a lot of things said about the Chiefs having rigged games in favor of them and whatnot. Although I do believe there are some favored calls in favor of the Chiefs and whatnot in most games, and I do think there's merit to that. I believe this game is going to be legitimate, and in the spirit of legitimacy, although I hate both of the franchises, I fucking hate the Eagles and I hate the damn Chiefs. Um, I do think it's gonna be reminiscent of what E said. It's gonna be a long day for the Chiefs, man. It's gonna be a long day. I think Saquon's gonna go off. I think he's gonna go crazy, and I think that number one defense, especially that secondary in the Eagles, is gonna stop and completely destroy any sort of a passing attempt or passing attack that the Chiefs try to generate. They don't really have phenomenal receivers. They got Travis Kelce, who I think is probably going to have a shitty game. Xavier Worthy, who's not really, he's a rookie. He's not proven himself too much. He has had a couple good games. He did have a good one against the Buffalo Bills last week in the conference championships. I just don't see how this Chiefs offense is going to be able to get past in my opinion, the best secondary in the entire league in the Eagles. And then I don't know how the defense is going to stop somebody like Saquon Barkley, who's had a phenomenal year and has had a phenomenal playoffs. And I think he's going to have another phenomenal game in the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be, I'm not going to say a landslide, but I definitely think it's going to be a little farther. I think it's probably going to be a 30 plus points for the Eagles, and then around 16 points for the Chiefs, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit of a landslide in that regard. The Chiefs are going to have a long day. This man Saquon Barkley, he's not to be messed with. On top of the fact that a lot of the people like Chris Jones, he's been a little off recently. He did have a good game against Buffalo, though. I will give it to that. But I think the Chiefs are gonna have a long day. It's gonna be an Eagles Super Bowl win, which it pains me to say. And to be honest with you, it would pain me to say it if I were to be saying here that the Chiefs were gonna win. I hate both of the fucking teams. To be honest with you, I'm boycotting the fucking Super Bowl. But it is what it is. It's fine. Um, but yeah, those are my thoughts. Uh, you know, I think Maddie touched on it a little bit as well. I want to get your thoughts on this because I would assume that you would believe that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback that the NFL has ever seen. Is that correct?
I'll agree on that.
Okay. So, am I also correct to assume? I suppose I'll ask you your thoughts on this. Do you think Mahomes has surpassed Brady? Do you think if he hasn't yet, do you think he will surpass Brady if he wins this Super Bowl? And if not, how many more Super Bowls, or I suppose how many, or what would he have to do in order to surpass Brady? Do you think he's close, or what are your thoughts on that?
It's starting to get closer as we come along. He is getting closer with Brady. Now, will he ever be above Brady of competition wise? No, because of the team sport. Looking at his accolades, it's showing impressive numbers as a Brady, especially in this generation. I feel with the three-peat, especially Brady never had a three-peat. I want to say like it'll put him over the top of Brady. Is it still gonna be diehard fans like me or everybody in the past from the 2000s that have seen Tom Brady in those years to say Mahomes as the GOAT of the NFL? I think it made even with a three-peat, especially with 2 years without Tyreek Hill, the number one receiver, you can put that as an argument. But winning without him is impressive numbers, and I would definitely say you would put Mahomes there at number one. Either you're saying maybe after Super Bowl or in the sometime near future. Just the best answer to that question for Mahomes. Because I still have Brady as my goal right now. As much as I hate him as a Dolphins fan, seeing him from the AFC East, I have to. The way how that man has controlled the game and the Brady way, you make an argument with Mahomes as well. The Mahomes way, it's just tough to stop. You have to have the last ball at hand in order to win the game, and do not cause any turnovers. But right now, I'm still have Brady over Mahomes. Even though, let's say, if he wins a three-peat, I'll still have Brady over Mahomes.
I mean, even if he wins this third one, it's 3 versus 7 at this moment in time. So I mean, I think I'm of the same sentiment that it's gonna take him a little bit to get to the point where
Or
where
that'll be four at that point.
yeah, it's gonna take him a little minute to be able to get to a point where to me he's definitely in that conversation. Um, but yeah, I mean,
He'll get there. He'll get there 100%.
you think by the end of his career he will be the GOAT?
Oh, no question about it.
Okay,
If he continues the way he's going, 100%.
okay, all right, yeah, I would agree. I would agree. What about you, Maddie? What do you think when it comes to this GOAT debate? Who would you give it to so far?
I honestly I would I would have to give it to Brady, obviously, because he is the original. You know, he set the standard for good quarterbacks and good team player, and just good plays all around in his career. You know, if he wasn't the GOAT, he wouldn't have gone. He wouldn't have retired, and they gave him a shit ton of money to come back so their team could become better, right? So I think originally the GOAT always is gonna be Tom Brady. Give it a few years. If this kid Mahomes wins again, then he's gonna have to be this generation's GOAT. But if you ever talk about a GOAT in the NFL, definitely Tom Brady over Mahomes.
Okay, all right. What about you, Georgie? You have any thoughts on the GOAT debate here?
The GOAT is always going to be Brady. I mean, Brady did beat him twice.
He did, yeah,
I mean,
in
he
Tampa
never
Bay too.
lost to him. Yeah, he never lost to him.
All right. Yeah, no, I think it's always going to be Brady too. I don't think Patrick is going to have the opportunity, or I don't think he's going to have the what it takes to surpass him. But going a little bit more on this thing that we've heard George talk about it already. We've heard Maddie allude to it a little bit. What are your thoughts on the whole idea that there's fixing in the NFL right now, and that the Chiefs have it good? The refs are giving them calls, and you know this game is rigged in favor of the Chiefs. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, there's some clear signs that there's happened. I always kind of keep it adjourned,
Georgie, mute
especially
yourself.
how that is. But at the same time, there is some calls where it's kind of a little sketchy, where you won't see that from another team. If let's say, for example, there's a couple So here, okay, good. Some holding calls from the previous game of AFC Championship. There was that 4th and inches where they look clearly across, but then they start moving. There's a lot. There's a lot of mixtures there from the Kansas City Chiefs. They get a lot more calls than the previous teams, and it's shown throughout the season there how luck has them. Especially for example, the Broncos when they had a game-winning kick and it gets blocked. There's a lot of refs, especially that Bills game, the Bengals games, especially those close calls games. There's a lot of them. But at the same time, some of those are legitimate. Hopefully, the Super Bowl doesn't, because last time these two teams met, if you remember the holding call near the end of that game, where it set up that field goal for the Chiefs to win against the Eagles, if you can recall that a few years ago. So, hoping it doesn't end like that, because that was the whole top after that Chiefs and Eagles previous Super Bowl was that holding call that was on James Bradbury on Juju Smith-Schuster. So hopefully we don't have that scenario again because then it won't look legitimate, sport speak, for the Kansas City Chiefs, Matt. So yeah, there is there fixing, of course. I mean, what sports, and especially you look at history, winners have never been fixing ever. But at the same time, it makes money, and don't be surprised if there's some a little bit favoritism because of the Kansas City Chiefs, especially with Taylor Swift and all that
The fucking
Hey,
Taylor
but
mixture.
Swift.
fun fact, my friend, she's an Eagles fan.
Mm.
She's
Yeah,
definitely
because of Jason
cheating on him
Kelsey.
with her brother.
Hey, even Jason Kelsey's wife said, "Listen, I'm going for the Eagles. I ain't going nothing with the Chiefs, even though his brother is a Kansas City Chiefs." So, hey, so
I mean,
but don't be surprised. Don't be
yeah.
surprised though.
I'm
At the
not
end of the day, I'm- go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. I'm just saying that the Chiefs and the NFL have ruined the game, in my opinion. It's not even fun. It's not the same because you already know I mean, it's everybody already knows it's rigged.
I mean, we were
Everybody
saying this
knows
with the
it.
Patriots as well. If you think about it,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just that
but
very look.
it's more obvious here because I mean, at least the Patriots, you were like, I don't know. But with this team, bro, it's like so obvious.
The Chiefs remind me of the Patriots when they dominated and went to the Super Bowl. You just never knew. Like you said, you just never know. You more likely know that let's say like the Patriots are gonna win. Like for example, when the Eagles upset them, I think a lot of people were in shock that they actually upset the Patriots there. You can say the same thing maybe with the Buccaneers and Chiefs game as well, even though that Chiefs O line that year was horrendous. They got demolished by the Bucks defensive line, and their cornerbacks and safeties. But like I said, you just never know. Yeah, it could be the Kansas City Chiefs for three-peat because there has never been an NFL team with a three-peat. So there's a possibility that that could play a role where they could try to get the Chiefs there.
Yeah, I also have a feeling though
And
that like the fact that this would be historic if they do win, it's like the first ever team in the in NFL history to get a three-peat. I feel like this probably that's probably if it is fixed, it probably would be the case that they wouldn't allow the Chiefs, at least not at this point in time, to get the three-peat because it would make history. And they want to keep that in their pocket for another team or maybe even the Chiefs in the future for like when Patrick Mahomes eventually in the script overtakes Brady in rings, he's also going to break the record for a three-peat. Who knows, like, but I feel like they probably would want to keep that. They would want to keep that in their pocket right now, which is another reason like if this is fixed, I probably would lean more towards the Eagles probably being the script or the winners in this year's script. But
I
and
don't know, man.
if you think about it, sports entertainment at the end of the day.
I mean, plus on top of that, once they add the betting to it, and now you can bet on it and all this type of shit. That's when I
Man,
feel like you get to a point where Vegas is involved, man, and these decisions are going to be made because it favors the bettors or rather it favors the house or whatever the case, and people are betting on it. It's going to change the outcome of the games, But I feel like if anything, the main culprit here is betting. Betting is the thing that has
oh,
ruined sports and just across the fucking aisles, man. Like basketball, football, soccer. It's ruined sports, in my opinion. Betting.
man, do I have a
I
history
agree
about
with
betting?
you. I agree, bro. That shit has ruined sports so much.
Yeah, no, It just doesn't make it fun anymore. You have anything to say on the whole betting thing about sports and their need to put sports betting everywhere and whatnot?
I don't agree with it. Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to get a quick buck, on betting, just when you think, oh, I know the players, just when you think you know all the players, and it doesn't really hit that often, and it's sad because people get in a gambling addiction. It's like, for example, when I used to bet, right? You can put like you get like, oh, you get $100, right? And then you start betting, it's like, oh, you get one good, it's great. And then you start doing more, and then next thing you lose, and like, oh man, I lost $20. Let me put like 40 so I can get the $20 back. And then it comes a cycle, and then next thing you know, you're like, oh, but I made about $100, but then I lost about like 800 from betting alone. And then it comes to a gambling addiction, and then it's sad. It's sad to see, especially you're wasting your hard-earned money on gambling. At that point, you might as well just go hit the lottery at that point, or invest into an ETF at that point. In my honesty, but gambling, betting, I want to go for it. It's kind of like luck. It's kind of Las Vegas. You're trying to beat the house, which more likely than not, you're not gonna beat the house. More likely than not, even though you think it's gonna be right. Always that one.
There always is. I remember so many times this
Always that
season.
one where you.
Go ahead, E. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I
No,
want to hear the
there was
story.
just so many times this season where, and I'm sure that a lot of people can relate to this, where I'm having this parlay and I'm on the last motherfucking thing, man. I'm about to win big, and all it takes is for some guy to get a field goal, just one field goal,
Mm-hmm.
and somehow, some way, the dude who hasn't missed a single field goal in the entire season decides that this is the game that he wants to miss a freaking field goal and doink that shit somehow, some way, you know. But the house always fucking wins, man. That's just what it is, man.
Literally a psychology right there. A lot of psychology because you're hoping that guy, let's say, to get the 56 yards and he's at 49. They just need one more pass and just need 7 yards and they don't get it. And then you have a shitty day right after that. It's great. And there's always that one. You, you put probably like, what, $10 and then you probably win like maybe $500 and you just need that one guy and he fails. And it's like, damn, man, I could have got $490 right there. And it's things like that, and then you start doing it again and again because maybe I got lucky this time, maybe I do it again. And it's a cycle. That's why near the end, if you ever look at those commercials where it says 1-800 gambling, they put it very tiny right there so they don't get sued and all that. But
Yeah,
I
just
don't
to check
believe
off a little
in
box.
sports. Yeah, but I just don't believe it in sports as ruin the game, and it's showing. It's showing. Even players are doing it too, even though it's supposedly illegal for them, but not for the fans. But that's another topic for another day. So yeah, it's another topic for another day.
Yeah, no, man, it's
Go
a
figure.
illegal shit, but
And that's where the fixing.
rules for
And that's
thee,
where the
not for
fixing
me,
comes in.
man.
Oh,
Maddie, you have anything to say about that, man?
I hope the Eagles win.
What about you,
I too hope the Eagles win.
Georgie? If the Eagles do win, do you think it'll like restore a little bit of faith you have, or no?
No, 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 not at all. I mean, you know how much money right now is on the line, and how many people are betting on the Eagles, and how many people are betting on the Chiefs. Not only that, you got Trump going to the Super Bowl. You got Taylor Swift going to be there. A bunch of artists are going to be there. It's the biggest Super Bowl. No president has ever been to a Super Bowl. Plus the attention Taylor brings to the Super Bowl.
Plus the Kendrick Lamar halftime show, and
Exactly.
just off the
there you
back
go.
of a big beef in the rap game, and
I still think it should have been the weekend.
I still think you're
Oh, wow.
absolutely stupid. But yeah,
Hey, the weekend was there in COVID times. All right, Matthew.
I still feel the weekend should be performing again.
Why?
No, I think he was
nah.
good there. He was good during the COVID time. Bringing everyone together. And after that, it's very rare for them to
Oh
come back
wow!
again.
So use somebody while they're still of use to you. Wow.
I mean,
Look at the NFL.
you gotta go with what's popping, man. And the weekend right now, he's not. I mean, he just came out with an album, dude. Like, just came out with an album like a week before the Super Bowl, man. Like before that, he wasn't doing shit. So I mean, but
He was finding himself. Don't fuck
bro,
Bill.
so are a bunch of
Uh,
transgender
Bro,
people, man.
what artist needs to find himself? What the fuck?
Yeah, bro.
Hey, Hollywood and the music game is corrupt, bro.
oh,
So
we
is the
already knew
NFL,
that.
bro. Here we are. But
Oh, but what are you guys gonna do? You're gonna watch it. That's
I'm
my
not. Hey,
point.
I'm not watching that shit. I told you. I'm
Well,
boycotting the fucking
I
the
am
Super
not
Bowl.
watching it either, bro. I am
The
not
only
watching
thing
that.
I'm tuning in for is that damn halftime show. The only thing. After that, bro, I'm turning that shit off, and I'm probably watching Suits on Netflix. Y'all should watch that. It's a good fucking show. But yeah, that's
uh, yeah, I'm a sucker for football, so that's the only time I get some enjoyment there.
yeah,
And
bro. I mean,
after that, it's gonna be like the off season is gonna be boring. Besides basketball.
yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just if if I see
Yeah,
one
I'll let my
more.
Dolphins be there. Hey,
You said
go
what?
ahead. Oh, my dogs be there, but that's not gonna be happening anytime soon. But go on.
Shit, bro. Listen, we keep hope alive. You know what I mean? We keep hope alive. But on that note, I do want to kind of transition this. You're a Miami guy. Like when it comes to sports, and we see it on your profile picture on Discord here. You're a Miami dude, man. Like you love the Miami Dolphins. I'm assuming you love the Miami Heat as well.
Correct.
You're a Miami guy, man, and I have a couple questions on that specifically. On the state of the Miami Dolphins right now, we have Tua Tagovailoa as our current quarterback. I guess we'll start there. What are your thoughts on Tua right now? You think he's a franchise guy? You think he's a bust? What are your thoughts on him?
I said before his signing there, I would have given him another year of a franchise tag just because of the scenario what you saw this year where he wasn't playing all the 16 games. He was injured in the beginning in that Buffalo game and then getting a hip injury. He doesn't seem like he's gonna stay healthy. Yeah, he stayed healthy the year previously, but he's not a healthy. He's not a healthy quarterback, and he's not a quarterback that will take you to the promised lands as much as I would love him to take us there. It just hasn't shown in the pudding. At the end of the day, we have Tyreek Hill, we have Jalen Waddle, we have a couple key pieces there on the offensive line, and especially on defense there, but just cannot connect. Especially this year alone, the explosive plays were nowhere to be seen. It was more check downs, more more short passes there, maybe a little bit in the middle, but not too many explosive plays this year, honestly. And the sports getting that run game going as well with Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert. But Tua, honestly, if you're banking on him to take you to the promised land, I wouldn't take the chance of it. Yeah, did we give him that contract? Yeah, that's Miami. That's the general manager Chris Greyer, but that's another topic for another day. But for Tua, I think he should be in the hot seat. I think Miami should get a quarterback in the draft. Whether it's gonna be in the free agency or in the draft. If they get in the draft, it could be somewhere in the middle of the draft. Or if there's somebody in free agency, it has to be a veteran QB that knows the system well of how Mike McDaniel coaches it there. Because if you bank on Tua Tagovailoa being the main guy all throughout the season, it's gonna be unlikely, but it's still possible because he did it in the previous year. But at the end of the day, how much time are you gonna have for Tua?
I'll tell you this. I don't think that McDaniels is the best coach for the Dolphins.
Oh no.
Whenever he's in a tough situation, he keeps running the same play over and over. And then
Oh,
one thing I noticed this season was the run game was working, and in the second half, he wouldn't run the ball anymore. And I was like, it's working. Why would you switch it? The run game is working, just like the pass game was working at one point. He switched it to the run game, and then the other team started catching up. So this is like kind of dumb. Like he does dumb stuff.
Yeah, I think
oh
that's
man.
that's where coaches fail a lot of the time, and I think also quarterbacks are guilty of this too. When you have a plan set in place and you cannot, and like you're incapable of of redirecting and like adapting to the current situation and being able to go to plan B. Like when plan A is the only plan you got and you got to just hope and pray that that's the thing that works, and if it doesn't, then you're cooked. That's what I see from Mike McDaniel. He's not good at adapting, and neither is Tua, in my
Mm-mm.
opinion. Like he's just not a good coach that's able to think on the fly and whatnot. He kind of goes with what the plan was set out and hope it works. And if it doesn't, I got no other plans, guys. I apologize. But what are your? That's kind of where I was gonna take it after as well. We talked about Tua a little bit there, and he's just maybe probably not the guy. We got to get some insurance policies here.
Uh,
What are your thoughts on Mike McDaniel? Do we look for a new coach? Do we give him another shot, another year to kind of prove to us that he's the guy? Do you think you think he's too young? What are your thoughts on him?
I think he's in the hot seat right now. Same thing with the general manager. I think the general manager should have been kicked out this past season, but Mike McDaniel's on the hot seat. Like George, just kind of reiterating what George said there. When it's not working, he's just sticks with it and just kind of hope for the best there instead of adapting to it. The prime example there, when they don't have Tyreek Hill on the field, they look like a lost team. Like like, oh, we don't know what to do now. We're just gonna start running the ball and start playing conservative, and just not adapting to it at all. And then the running away from the run game, it doesn't make no sense whatsoever. And then the defense has to improve there. The defensive line, even though Calais Campbell had a great year, same thing with Sealer, but gotta get better on the line there. Safety is gonna be an issue next year, especially Javon Holland's looking for a contract. And at the end of the day, Mike McDaniel's on the hot seat. Same thing with the GM. What if the general manager Chris Greer has gone through the draft, even with previously with Brian Flores, even with Adam Gase, believe it or not, with Adam Gase, what has Chris Greer shown? Yeah, maybe he's got a Waddle, he's got a couple key players there, Javon Holland, but how many of those draft picks, especially that trade that we did a few years ago, we can say, oh yeah, we still have those players, like Noah Gabani. Where is he now? Last time I checked, he was in the Cowboys and then he got traded. Austin Jackson, he's been, yeah, we signed him a contract, but he's not really that offensive tackle we're looking for. And then Tua, just to give you a prime example. So
Yeah, you can get a bunch of big
yeah,
names, but if you can't make them work together and take you to, you know, at least to the conference championships, which I don't think the Dolphins have been there in a long time.
woo,
Uh,
in the '90s, let's put it
yeah,
that way. In the '90s, last time we were in the AFC Championship against the Bills.
yeah, man, and I think obviously they lost that one. I mean, I think
Correct.
like you get all these big names and you put them all on your team and whatnot, and it's a good thing and whatnot. But if you can't put them together and have them work cohesively enough and show their talents to a point where they're able to take you to that point in the playoffs and show promise and be able to actually keep you as a Super Bowl contender, then I think you're just at that point what's the point of spending all that money getting all those big names if you're not going to make them work, and it's not going to work at all. But
And I feel like he's too nice to the players there. He kind of, and the players just roll all over him, run all over him at this point because they don't take him seriously. At the end of the day, it shows on the field. Especially, it looks great on paper, but what it shows on the field,
that's what I'm saying, man.
nothing.
And that's what I'm
Miss
saying.
playoffs.
Yeah, you completely missed the playoffs, and like it's like kind of to me personally, the way I felt about this team, especially this last year, it's just the culture just doesn't feel there. Like it feels like we don't give a shit about this sport, and it's kind of just like we're here to collect a paycheck, and it's like they don't have this. I don't feel the passion to get to that promised land. You know what I mean? I don't feel the passion to get to the playoffs and really perform hard and what. I don't feel it. I really don't. Like some other organizations, like like I'm a Packers fan. I feel that in the Packers locker room, in the Packers organization, to really get to that point. I feel it in organizations like the Eagles, rallying behind Saquon Barkley and really getting to that point, or the Buffalo Bills. I don't feel it in the Dolphins, man. I don't feel it.
And look who's the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, Vic Fangio,
The guy who was
the
there in
former
Miami,
defensive
yeah.
coordinator. Yep, he's in the Super Bowl. So what does that tell you?
It's not him. Let's just say that it's not him.
Yeah, everybody was pointing at him, and I admit that I was thinking maybe it is. But then again, when you start hearing players not being out and all that, not taking, then it comes to suspicious there. And look where he's at now.
Yeah, I mean, and an offense could carry your team to a Super Bowl, but the fact that the defense of the Eagles is ranked to number one in a lot of categories, they're up at probably the best defense in the league at this moment in time. It definitely goes to show that Vic Fangio was most certainly not the problem. You know what I mean? There was something else going on there. I don't know if it's Mike McDaniel and his decision making. I don't know if it's the GM, the players just not really clicking.
It all starts with the top with Stephen Ross. All I'll say.
Yeah, man. I mean, you think we're gonna be any sort of contender next year? Or you think it's kind of just a bust for the next 5 years? And what do you think?
It's tough. Where their cap space right now for the Dolphins is tough. There's a lot of contracts. They're big contracts like Tyreek Hill, Tua, a lot of big contracts there, especially we have free agency now. John Smith is free agent, which I think we should re-sign. Had a great year with us. Maybe another year. Javon Holland may be a lost cannon there. So you're looking at a lot of spots that we need, like offensive line, D line, safety, tight end, maybe another wide receiver, especially Tyreek Hill, showing some signs that you may want to get traded in the draft. I really like Malik Washington there, but you don't really have a lot to play with on free agency, especially with the cat space. Yeah, you may get somebody small key pieces. You won't get like big splashes in this offseason, but do I really honestly see Miami going to playoffs? It's tough to tell. It depends on what they do in free agency in the draft. I'm not too confident right now even with the pieces they have right now. I just don't feel confident as I was maybe last year or the year before. Now, of course, I had them at 10 or 9 wins, but it's not. It all depends on how they do on the field. They can have the greatest thing on paper, but I want to see how it is on the field at the end of
Yeah,
the day.
I think that's been the story of the Miami Dolphins. Good on paper, get on that field though, and it's a bust. But
Same hype, and then it just
yeah,
shit on the field.
yeah, it just goes down. But but yeah, man. I mean, I think on the same vein of the whole Miami Dolphins, and you being a Miami guy and whatnot. Or actually, first I actually had a question just to kind of iron this out because I know you know more about this than I do. Tyreek, is he leaving the Dolphins, or because I heard something about that? But
He he was more frustrated at that game. He's not asking for a trade. I think he was like frustrations right after a game, and he just kind of let his emotions out because he did discuss it with the general manager and the head coach that he didn't want to be traded, but he wanted to be competitive, which I don't blame him. I mean, he was in the Kansas City Chiefs, which look where they are now, still there. He could have stayed with the Chiefs, but Miami hasn't been that competitive since like what, maybe a few years now that we've been in the playoffs, but we haven't got over that hump of a victory. And that's the story of Miami. We haven't really been competitive. We're more of a laughing stock to the NFL at the end of the day. But he's not really looking for a trade at all for
yeah,
Tyreek Hill.
it's a shame.
But
It
it's
really is.
but it's true though what he says. Indeed, needs to be competitive.
Yeah,
Just go
man.
out there and start playing conservative, and then we're not gonna win games like that, especially close games too. And
Especially
then
in that
turnovers.
division.
Oh yeah.
No, but you got like, at the end of the day, Tyreek Hill being one of the best, if not, I would say probably the best position player in that team. You lose him, that's a big blow. It's a big blow, especially since he was the yard leader. He was the touchdown. I believe he was a touchdown leader. In one of and I think it was 2 seasons ago. He was the yards leader for sure. But that's a key player right there, and to lose him would be a very big blow. But um, George, anything you want to say before we move on to the next thing, man?
Yeah. I mean, I think that the Dolphins need to get a new head coach, a new offense coordinator. Defense is all right so far. They struggle always at the first half, but second half they always manage to do good.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to get some key players, man, some key offensive players. I don't think that I know that this guy he's pretty good, Achan, but he's always injured. He's always hurt. So I think that while he's still healthy, they should trade for some better players, some better draft picks or something.
Mm.
I
What
mean,
I
about
look
you?
at
would give
last season, he
input, but
was
I'm not
hurt
too
most of
knowledgeable
the
that
time.
much about football.
I'm sorry. What was that, Maddie?
I would give input, but I'm not too knowledgeable about football.
No, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, no
That's
worries.
yeah, no, that's fine. I mean,
No
uh,
worries.
Maddie, I mean, you're a 49ers fan though. You don't really care about the Miami Dolphins, or what do you?
Well, I'm a Miami boy, so of course I have to care about my home team.
Have you seen the games? Do you watch the games like that, or you don't really tune in that much?
Well, it hurts too much to watch, so not, most of the time, no.
Yeah, man. I get that. I get that.
uh, I've been through many torture games watching the Dolphins. Don't worry. Don't worry. I watch it for you, Matthew. Don't worry. I torture myself all the time. Don't worry. 63 nothing. I remember that.
Shit,
Oh yeah,
that's
going back to the HN thing, I would rather trade Waddle than HN. Honestly, Waddle has not. He's been inconsistently not been on the field. He's been injured. He's supposed to be our wide receiver two guy and potentially be our wide receiver one if Tyreek Hill were to retire, but he doesn't seem the part of that.
you think
So I
you
would
think
honestly trade
Jalen,
him.
but you think Jalen Waddle, or rather, you think OBJ is better than Jalen Waddle in that team?
Right now, no.
No.
That's why we got rid of him during the season.
Yeah, yeah, we did. Yeah. I mean,
That,
no, that was
like
definitely a good
if that
idea.
was but Malik Washington was being better than the rookie out of Virginia was doing much better than OBJ. So
Yeah.
just cut off bait there.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, George, you think? What are your thoughts on that? You think we should get rid of HN more than Jalen Waddle?
No, I still think Jalen Waddle has potential, but Achan, I mean, he's proven it. He's injured every game, basically. I think last season he was injured for like 5 games. 5 games, and the injuries were the same issue. Just like look at McCaffrey right now. He had one great season, and now he has Achilles issues. If I were the 49ers, I would trade him right now, bro. I would trade him.
Well, the 49ers already
Remember,
knew about that.
yeah, you're playing in a league where it's very physical, and when you have, this is not the NBA where a guy can come back and still do something. It'll be harder for him to get hurt, but in the NFL, it's really really tough. So I mean, like I would say trade those guys, bro, because you need to. I mean, like I know there's teams that love the big names. You need to take advantage of that.
Well, the 49ers already knew what they signed up with McCaffrey. They already knew he had that history with the Carolina Panthers. This is like no secret there. And going back to Achan, honestly, you probably want to get rid of Raheem Mostert, and then you still got Jalen Wright as a backup too, from the rookie out of Tennessee. So, and in case if Achan goes down, you still got Jalen Wright, who's almost similar to Achan in the run game. He
Yeah,
has to get better in the passing game, but
yeah. I'm gonna be
you still got
honest.
Jalen Wright in the back.
I'm gonna be honest, and I don't know if this is a little bit of a hot take. I like Achan way more than I like Mostert, to be honest. I think he's a
Oh,
better player for
100%.
us.
It shows from this season alone. There's a reason why he took the running back took more the backs than Raheem Mostert, if you noticed throughout the season.
No, yeah, towards the end of the season, yeah, he definitely was taking more of those carries for sure, and he was producing much more than Mostert was, which is probably the reason why they gave him more carries. But yeah, no, I'm a fan of Achan. I'm definitely a fan of him. Just to kind of get off the NFL topic here, we're gonna go. I'm gonna ask you one last question, um, and you give me your input here on what you think. Who do you? I guess I'll ask these three, or I guess I'll ask these four. Who do you think should win Coach of the Year this year? Who's your Coach of the Year?
Tom Brady.
This guy.
Well, best commentary, yeah, but no. Coach of the year, man. Honestly, I'm in between Dan Campbell and Dan Quinn because I feel I'm leaning more Dan Quinn now. I say this way because nobody thought the Commanders were going to the NFC Championship. Who here thought that you were here the Commanders going to the NFC Championship this year?
Dude, that was the biggest shocker ever, bro.
I
That shit
loved
was
it. I
shocking.
love to see that. Get a little bit of a different thing in the playoffs here. I love seeing that.
Plus, with a rookie quarterback of Jaden Daniels
Jaden
leading the
Daniels, man.
way,
I'm a fan.
and he's definitely gonna get the rookie of the year 100%.
He won it.
There's no
He won it
no
already.
doubt.
Yeah.
He has
Yeah,
to.
I guess
Like, there's no.
All right.
there's no question to ask.
Yeah, that's actually the second thing I was going to ask you. Offensive Rookie of the Year. You think Jaden Daniels is the guy?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Okay, I
They
agree.
already took the kryptonite out of Chicago Bears.
Okay, if it's not Jaden Daniels, who is it?
Offensive player of the year, if it's not Jaden Daniels, wow. Ah, I'm not sure. 'Cause I'm really more. It's
I
your
mean,
Jaden
I know,
Oh,
I
Daniels.
know
sorry,
who.
sorry, sorry. I said
Bowers, Brock Bowers could be offensive
True,
player of the year
true.
also.
I said Offensive Rookie of the Year, right?
Yes, you said offensive rookie of the year.
Okay, yeah, Offensive Rookie of the Year, yeah. So
Yeah,
George,
Brock Bowers would be a close second.
yeah,
because
George, you
then
would say
I
Brock
was thinking-
Bowers.
Because I was interested in Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
I was like,
second,
no, Caleb
like a
Williams
close
nowhere
second.
close to that.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say, to me personally, I like Bo Nix a lot. Bo Nix, he surprised me this year, and I think to me after Jaden Daniels, it'd probably be Bo Nix for me.
For the shitty team that they have, he did pretty good.
Yeah, man,
Bo
he
Nix.
did phenomenally in my opinion. He got them to the playoffs. Shit, I mean, what can you do?
And Brock Bowers had a good season with the Raiders, even though the Raiders fan did not want them initially.
No, Brock Bowers showed out, man. Showed out completely. I think he should get the fuck out of there though. That's a shitty team.
I mean, he's
Yeah,
a
it's-
rookie,
it's
bro. What the
too
fuck?
early.
He has to wait 3 more years.
It's too early, and it all depends on what the Raiders do, especially with now they have Pete Carroll, so it's gonna be interesting. But yeah,
Yeah, for sure. All
especially
right, so now we move on to Defensive Player of the Year. Who do you guys think?
defensive player of the year. I'm in between Miles Garrett and T.J. Watt. But I'm gonna go more Miles Garrett. I think he definitely deserves that award there. Although T.J. Watt's a close second, which I know it can get in more arguments there, T.J. Watt and Miles Garrett. But I really do feel Miles Garrett has that defensive player of the year around his belt. Even though he's trying to get the hell out of the Browns right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a Packers fan, I hope Miles Garrett comes to the Packers, man. Please.
I hope he goes to the
Please.
49ers.
I hope he goes to the Packers, man. Please get your ass to the green and gold,
Imagine
bro.
he goes to Philly.
Nah, get the fuck out of here, bro. Fucking seeing Philly again in the fucking playoffs and the
Oh,
Super
I
Bowl
know why
shit.
you salty with Philly. You're a Green Bay guy.
I hate Philly, man. Fucking hate Philly. But either way, or actually, George, did you say who your defensive player of the year is?
Yeah, it's him, the same guy.
Myles Garrett.
Yeah,
All right.
but I hope he goes to the 49ers.
I hope he goes to the Packers. And I also hate the 49ers because I'm a Packers fan, but I hate the 49ers as well.
Yeah,
But
I know you're a Packers fan. I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a
You're a
fucking
Packer
Chiefs fan.
fan.
It's okay.
He's a Packer fan. He's a little Packer fan.
And
Yeah,
he's
they haven't
and
gone to the
we
Super
got
Bowl since 2011. It's
that.
okay.
That's okay. We beat your ass in the first one. And just to say, y'all are 69ers fans. You guys are 69ers. Anyways,
At least we went to the
just so
Super Bowl within the last few years.
and
buddy.
you lost it miserably. Sorry.
At least
Yeah,
we
to the
still won.
cheats. To the cheats.
Yeah, to the cheats. Either way,
We're bringing the Packers out of in there.
the defensive player of the year, the winner
And
was
the Packers,
the winner was Patrick Surtain or Surtain.
not the Packers.
Not the
had a
Packers.
great-
Shut up, 69ers fucking fan. Where the fuck is Christian McCaffrey? He's
No,
dead.
he also.
Damn.
Yeah, that's hurtful.
No, but yeah, but it's official. Defensive player of the year was the award was given to Patrick Surtain. So, I probably would have said
He had
T.J.
also
Watt.
had a great
but,
career
yeah.
as well.
He did. He had a good year. He had a great year. Now for offensive player of the year, what do you guys say for this one? This one's a doozy a little bit.
And I
Who
wanna
is
give
it,
to
though?
Saquon.
Yeah, it should be Saquon.
Yeah, he won it. He won it.
Saquon has been balling. When he led the New York Giants, had a great offensive line, and he balled the hell out. really, and making the Giants
Backwards fucking hurdle, dude. Come on, man.
Bro, he had an amazing year,
Oh
bro.
my god, that Jaguars game, my god.
Yo, all I know is Giants fans are livid.
They are going for the Chiefs, that's for sure.
They're the only ones,
Man.
bro.
Nobody told them to let that guy go, bro.
Hey,
They didn't want to pay
signed
him.
Jones, and look where Daniel Jones is at now.
Yeah, for real.
On the practice squad of the Minnesota Vikings.
I mean, who gives the Giants? Come on, the Giants are a fucking dud of an organization, man. But,
They are. They're really a laughing stock. I'm surprised they were able to get Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, for real. Who, funny enough, in my opinion, was also in the running for offensive rookie of the year for sure. But
At the beginning of the year, right? Towards the end, nah.
yeah, I mean, all right. So now for the last one, MVP. What do you guys think?
Lamar.
What about you?
I'm feeling Lamar Jackson here. It's gonna be close. I feel it was Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. They both had great, phenomenal seasons. But looking at Lamar, yeah, you could say he had Derrick Henry, but him actually improving on the passing game, especially in a game that he hasn't improved a lot of, and not running the ball as often, especially when you have a guy with Derrick Henry, I think he deserves the MVP. You can also have an argument with Josh Allen. He doesn't have pretty much no wide receiver one on that team, and Stephon Diggs last season. But honestly, it's close. But I like Lamar Jackson over Josh Allen.
What about you, Georgie? Who you say is MVP for you this year?
It has to be Lamar Jackson, bro.
Okay. He definitely. I think when it comes to him and Josh Allen, definitely Lamar Jackson beats him out. But I think Saquon Barkley just, I don't know. To me personally, man, he did it all himself, bro. And the performances that he put up this year, with not that great of a passing game to lean on, dude, 6 rushing touchdowns in the game versus the Bills. And I know we're not counting that. And when it comes to MVP, it's like regular season. But dude, even in the regular season, man, it's just he went off. He balled, and yeah, it's not like he had a phenomenal passing game to lean on, like I said, but he was on for most of the year. To be honest with you, I think Saquon should win that MVP for sure.
Yeah, he's a close third for me.
Yeah, I mean,
Although
go ahead.
for me, especially it's more a QB. MVP is more like a QB favoritism there. You rarely see any wide receivers for running backs there. Last time you saw like a running back who won it was Adrian Peterson, and we're talking like 2011 with your Packers winning it. But hey,
Yeah, man. I
it's
mean,
possible, but it's tough. They're more likely to give it to Lamar Jackson or if anything Josh Allen before they even gave it to Saquon. Even though Saquon had a phenomenal career as a running back and kind of revived the running back market too.
yeah, I mean, to me personally, I agree. The MVP is definitely a QB. It's a QB first thought when it comes to MVP, um, but yeah, no, I mean, I think Saquon should win that, and I think, like you said, heading into the season, not very many people thought that a team could solely rely on their run game and win as they have, and the Saquon Barkley, the Eagles, they showed how to do it, man. That goes a long way, but you know, hopping off of the NFL now, moving on a little bit towards a different sport that I know or that I've heard that you like a lot, the NBA. Some crazy news came out not a couple days ago, um, and I want your thoughts on it because to me personally, I think it's the craziest thing to ever happen in the history of the NBA. The most just the stupidest trade, Luka Doncic to the Lakers for freaking Unibro. Um, what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that?
When I first saw that, I thought it was a hoax. I was like, oh, they're just kidding. They're just kind of one of those troll NBA accounts you see where they just start saying some random crap there. But they were actually legitimate. Luca for Anthony Davis and for first round, you kind of think like, what are the Mavericks thinking? You may think of like, oh, maybe it's Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban doesn't even own most of the majority of that team anymore. He's like 27% ownership, so that was not even his call there. But especially a franchise player like that, and he's young too, and he's gonna get more. He's gonna get that superstar max, literally. And that's really going to help the Lakers there, honestly, compete. And yeah, you may say, well, they don't have a big center anymore, which they just recently got a center not that long ago from the Hornets. But you got Anthony Davis, who's not really healthy. Yeah, he plays a few games, and then next thing you know, he's injured. You're not really going to get much. And I know they're going to try to pair him with Kyrie and Anthony Davis and the Mavericks. I just don't see it. I just think it was stupid, honestly. And if you look for LA, I think they won that trade, even though Doncic is dealing with some injury right now. But when LeBron James, when that time comes, he retires, clearly Luca's team, and you can build around that. Honestly, now the Mavericks. I mean, what you have Kyrie, you got Anthony Davis. Yeah, it could work. You may get into playoffs, but you're gonna probably have to rebuild at some point because Kyrie's getting older. Anthony Davis can't stay healthy. And
Yeah, I mean,
that's pretty much.
you look at it from all angles. It's like if you're trying to build a team that's going to take you to the Super Bowl. What am I saying? To the championship this year.
NBA Finals, yeah.
I don't see how that's with Anthony Davis and Kyrie. Like at that point in time, if anything, you probably have more of a chance with Luca. But you give up Luca, now you give up your franchise guy. So you're not even building for the future anymore because at this point you gave up your future guy. Yeah, that's a stupid trade, man. It's a really stupid trade. Like probably the dumbest trade I've ever experienced in the history of
That
me
was
being
a
an NBA watcher.
dumb. That was a dumb trade. I don't know, bro. That was. At least I would have traded for like a few first round picks or something. I don't know, bro. That was
I
kind
think
of
they
a.
only asked for like one, and that's it.
And it was a second round pick, not even a first round pick.
Yeah, man, that's
Yeah,
a stupid trade. Stupid trade completely. Um, Luca going over and joining LeBron James. That's probably going to be a powerhouse of a team right there. Just Luca puts up numbers, man. I mean, the reason why Dallas is even in the playoffs and gets to the NBA Finals or gets even close is because of him. And to give up that guy for for Anthony Davis because you feel like you need a center, bro, bro. I don't know what they were thinking, man. I don't know what they were thinking, but definitely a dumb trade for sure. Now moving on again to since you're a Miami guy, we definitely got some stuff to speak on when it comes to the team that represents us in the NBA, Miami Heat. What do you think about the current situation going on with Jimmy Butler and and the rest of the team that we have right now besides Jimmy? I mean, what do you think of him? Do you think he's a guy that we're gonna miss him, or do you think he's kind of expendable? What are your thoughts on him?
I think we already run this course with him. He got us some great seasons there, got us to two NBA Finals, which I don't think we never even thought to even happen. The bubble, if you can recall, and then that Nuggets Finals. He's gone in there. He's shown magical moments, especially against the Celtics. But at the end of the day, he was coming to the point where he wanted more money. He wanted a 2-year, 121 million, and Pat Riley wasn't going for it. And then that's when his shenanigans starts happening, and it was becoming a toxic to the point where he went like this. He said, "I want to get traded to anywhere but the Grizzlies, and then anywhere but the Suns," and then it starts being toxic. And then we finally get a trade, and then he actually goes to the Warriors. We're getting Andrew Wiggins, um, Sinakam. Correct me if I'm wrong, or somebody I'm forgetting here. I'm probably saying it wrong right now. I'll be there, but we got two other players, but we traded him away regardless. Oh, it's Dennis Schroeder. That's what I was thinking about. Dennis Schroeder, which we traded him to the Utah Jazz. And then we got PJ Tucker back from, I think, the Pistons or the Raptors. And then we got Mitchell from the Raptors as well. So you get some key pieces there. And we have a young core right now for the Miami Heat. So, I mean, it's great for the locker room. It's kind of relief in the locker room, especially not having a toxic guy like Jimmy Butler, who can be toxic. It's shown with the Timberwolves, the Bulls, get his way out. And then to go figure, he signed a 2-year deal, 121 million with the Warriors. I just got to deal with California taxes. That's all he was looking for, even though he didn't want that. But hey, it is what it is. But I think it's a young future for the Miami Heat. They could potentially get 2 first-round picks this year. It's kind of tricky how they can get that if they miss the playoffs or they do make it. It's kind of tricky where we get the NBA lottery picks. So it's some improvements there, especially to build around with Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, now Andrew Wiggins. So he's going to be with us for this year and next year. So should be interesting there. He's a solid player coming from the Warriors and from the Timberwolves. So it's going to be a wait and see what we can do with those pieces. I've been really liking the rookie that we got here, Ware. I've been liking his improvements there. There's a lot of young cats there on Miami Heat. I think that's impressive, but it's definitely gonna be a build. We're not going to the NBA Finals as much as we love to say that. It would be possible we get to the playoffs, yes, but I want to say this year we'd be saying NBA Finals right now. But it's gonna be a building process, in my opinion.
Yeah,
What do
man,
you think, Matt?
for sure, for sure. I mean,
I want to say something. I feel like the Heat won that trade, bro.
Oh
The
yeah,
Heat won that trade, and they never win any trade, and that's what surprises me.
yeah. Or a trade like that, especially
Yeah,
because Jimmy Butler wasn't even doing nothing for the past
he
couple
was
months.
missing every game. He wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm glad he left. I mean, I liked him when he was happy here, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, bro. He stopped.
It's run its course. The contract
Yep,
happened, and Pat Riley didn't want to pay the contract, and that was history.
exactly.
yeah, he worked for us when when he did, and now that he's not, he's out. I think it's a good decision by the Miami Heat, and we got Andrew Wiggins, who's been performing very well for the past 3-4 years, and he's been doing his thing, and now he's coming over here to Miami. Now that we got rid of Jimmy Butler, who would you say right now is the captain of this team? Like the guy who the rest of the team's gonna rally behind. The leader of this team. Who would you say that would be on that court?
I would say it'd be Bam Adebayo. I mean, he's the veteran. He's know the team. He's know the team very well. Can bring everybody together, especially the young core. Got Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero that helped that core a lot. Maybe they're missing out another key veteran there, but right now I feel Bam Adebayo has that potential to be that captain of the team. Especially with Jimmy Butler out, he's always a second to Butler, no matter what. But I do feel he's gonna lead us to great things. But just not gonna be this season. But he will be definitely a great captain. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could say about Kevin Love, but he's more as a bench player. It's kind of like Udonis has in those last few years, kind of more of that leadership role instead of actually playing on the court.
Yeah, yeah. No, I would agree with Bam Adebayo for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Now, when it comes to the broader scope of what the NBA is offering right now, who do you think is going to be the biggest contender for the NBA Finals and to win the championship? I mean, right now, I think it's the Bulls who have the best record right now in the league, if I'm not mistaken.
I
That
think
was
it's
that
yeah. The
was the
Bulls are
Cavaliers.
playing really nice.
Or sorry, the Cavaliers. I apologize, the Cavaliers. Um, who would be your pick right now to win the NBA Finals? If it was to be today, who do you think's taking it?
Mm. If it was today, who would take it? I wouldn't be surprised if the Celtics run it back right now. I would not really be surprised. You can see the Celtics from the East run it back again. If you look at the West, I mean, you can probably say the Lakers could be in contender, especially that trades they have made recently with Luca and with the center they got from the Hornets. That could also be a possibility. Now, I'm not saying it's gonna be Celtics and Lakers before everyone's like, "Oh, here we go again, the Celtics Lakers, who's gonna have more championship rings now." But it's a great possibility those two teams could be in the contention for the NBA Finals. My opinion there. Now you could always say Milwaukee, but I think Milwaukee's in the struggles right now in the West. I mean, you can also say the Denver Nuggets as well. That's kind of where I'm leaning more towards. That's going to be in the NBA Finals at the end of the year. What say you, Matt?
I agree. I would have probably said me personally. I think the Celtics are probably going to run it back. You know, 2 times in a row. I think that's probably what's going to happen. But it's going to be interesting to see how Luka changes this Lakers team for the better, for the worse, and to see how far they get with this Lakers team. I think the Lakers are gonna get far with Luca. He's a producer, man. This guy produces points, he produces games, and he wins games for his teams. It's gonna be interesting to see the chemistry between him and LeBron and how far the Lakers get. I think they're gonna get pretty far though. If it's not the Celtics, it's gonna be the Lakers, in my opinion, personally. But yeah, that's what I believe. George, you have anything to say about that or?
No, no, no. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do.
All right, yeah. I mean, yeah, man, it's gonna be definitely an interesting rest of the season with these big trades that have been happening in the league. Um, but now I want to kind of move this. We've been talking about sports for a little while here. I kind of want to move this to something a little different here. Um, well, actually, I guess we'll still kind of be on the sports realm, sort of. I did hear that you got a Buffalo Wild Wings sponsorship that happened. I'm just curious, how did that come about? Did they reach out to you? Did they look at one of your videos? They comment on under one of them, or reached out through DMs? How did that process work?
They actually reached out to me, so I think there was an agency that reached out to me that said, "Hey, are you interested if you're in this area or in the Miami or Broward area? It's like, hey, would you want to do these videos? Like, just array our BOGO Tuesdays or BOGO Thursdays. But today's Thursday, so you can get free boneless wings. It's not sponsored, by the way, but but it was things like that. Like you go to the restaurant, and you get paid for this too. I got paid some money there from it. It was like 3 videos. You get paid each video you get. I think it was about I think around 20 to 40 seconds, talk about the food, um, what you order, make sure you don't have nothing, you're wearing nothing that will be like a brand wise, but just promoting it and then going down to the Buffalo Wild Wings, which it was nice. It was nice that I actually got that. I never in a million years would think Buffalo Wild Wings would actually want to sponsor me, but hey, I got sponsored there. I've got sponsored a few things, and that's actually from my content from 'cause I turned into a content creation because when I started, it was a podcast which was then called Ethan and Mike, which I had a previous co-host, and then we kind of split apart, and then I kind of had a podcast, and then kind of switched to content creation, and then I really started popping off around 2021, 2022, and just cranking those videos out, and then some recognition from last season where I really started getting sponsorships from there. And it was cool. I don't regret it at all. Hey, free wings. Hey, who doesn't complain about free food? First off, but it's a sponsorship, and I got paid for it, and I loved it.
They,
You know, and it's
I
and it's possible.
yeah, I understand you might not want to go into the details of this, but did they pay you big bucks, or was it more like it was something quaint, something small, or
I'm trying to remember the amount. If I'm being 100% honest with you, maybe I'll probably say around maybe 100, maybe 200. I can't really don't remember the numbers, but I know it was a nice little check there. Around there. I'll say it wasn't like no crazy like $1,000 or something like that. To be honest.
yeah, that'd be
But
cool.
but I mean, it's something, It's like, hey, it's the first time you get a sponsorship, You're not gonna be like, oh, greedy, like, oh, I demand $1,000 when you look at the accounts, like, well, you don't have that account for you to say that you want that money. You gotta really see where you're at and how you can please to them at the same time, where you can negotiate,
Yeah, and
where
it's
you
and it's and
see
it's
the
good to start
value.
somewhere in that regard. The fact that you even got a sponsorship from a company like that in general is a big thing. So that's definitely a good sign that you're going on the right direction.
100%.
Did you end up getting any other sponsorships besides them, or was it just the Buffalo Wild Wings that you
Um,
got?
Now, I've had a few other sponsorships that I can recall. I remember I did get a lounge chair from a company there. I can't remember what it's called. I still have it in my room. It's a nice, comfy chair that you can bring to the beach. You can bring to tailgates. So I got a sponsorship from them. I'm trying to remember other sponsors that I had. I've had not NFL betting wise, but more like predictions. So I was getting paid for that, which that kind of turned sour there since they were paying other people. But then when it came to me, I never really got paid by them, and I never even put their ad out. This is something that I really haven't told nobody about that. So this is brand new information. So it never really paid me, and I kind of just went out my day. Yeah, because that pay would have been a lot, but sometimes if they're being a hard ass, it's not worth it. Especially if they were canceling you off there and you haven't even produced the ad for it. So it was unfortunate, but you kind of move on and go on to the next thing if it comes around. Now I had uh sponsorships where I was like, this is no way relates back to what I'm doing. That's like saying like if I was doing something for health and I was talking about beauty, not beauty. What would I say? Let's say for health, or not for health. That's a bad example. Let's say for football, right? And someone say like, hey, you want to sponsor my gun collection? It's like, okay, like that doesn't fit with my content. You understand what I mean, Matt?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but you would reject all the sponsorships that kind of aren't really in
Where
line with how
it
your
doesn't,
content is.
yeah, where how I feel and where it doesn't appeal to my audience. When your audience knows BS, you will know
Yeah, you
when
gotta
it's bullshit.
advertise things
You
that
smell.
people of your audience would want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like if it's like sports, like Buffalo Wild Wings, because people go there for sports or for wings or whatever. It makes sense. Lawn chairs, that makes sense. People go to tailgating. That makes sense. So you gotta figure out, okay, does this make sense to what we are actually doing, or am I just doing it just for the money? Because I could care less about the money there. Yeah, it's gonna come. You know, do I would I like sponsorships? Sure. But at the end of the day, you can't be always thinking about the cash at the end of the day because then it kind of hooks you and then it makes you all sorts of things, and then you think you're at the top, and then you're really not if you're just starting to come up.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I'd probably have the same. I'd be of the same opinion as well. Like, if I'm getting a sponsorship from fucking Sephora, bro, what the fuck I gotta do with makeup? You know what I mean? Like, I definitely see where you're coming from in that regard. But
And, and one more thing, just to add there,
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
on the sponsorship that I declined before, and it was like betting, and to my belief, I don't believe in betting, and I said it to my audience that I don't believe to promote betting, especially to a younger audience, and get them hooked to that because then that becomes an addiction, and I just don't believe in it at all. Although that's part of the NFL, you could say like, oh, that's also part of the genre. Everyone wants to bet. Hey, I bet the Eagles go -3.5. I just don't believe it. Could I get money from that? Sure, but I just refuse to accept those. As much as that will get me great money there, I just don't feel value to me, honestly, and just to promote it to other people that I'm not even doing myself. Why would I promote something that I'm not even doing, but I let other people do it for me?
No, 100%, man. If that's respectful, that's definitely that's a big ups on that, man. Because the money can seem tempting and all, but if it breaches your moral framework and you're not morally on agreement with the thing that you'd be promoting, yeah, it's definitely good to choose the morals over the money in that regard. And again, respectful to do that. But yeah, man, it's cool that you definitely got a Buffalo Wild Wings sponsorship though. That's pretty dope. Moving on from all
Yeah,
this,
free food. Who
yeah,
doesn't love free food?
free wings. Did you get? How did that work? Actually, not, let me actually ask that. How did that work? Did you get free wings whenever you went there, or like was it like they gave you a coupon, or how did that work?
So what they did was they gave me a $50 gift card, so to make sure it really covers the meal. You can even bring your friend along and still pay the whole meal right there. Now, depending on what they choose, of course, it all depends. But it literally paid for my whole meal. I paid it for some friends that I've had there, and I even paid it for the lovely girlfriend that I brought there too with that sponsorship. So I mean, it was great. I mean, shoot it. You got to show it to the server and all that. that they, hey, I got this gift card here. Of course, way how to record it. Whenever it showed, and there's some examples. I could show that off pod, but yeah, it was a nice way how I did it. And I had to do the voiceover, and I've done voiceovers before, so it's nothing new. Kind of like the same thing with editing as well. So yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
that's
like
that's dope though. That's dope. So they would the way they would I guess the medium they would use for you to get your free food is gift cards and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's how they did it with a $50 gift card, and that's how I got the free food there, and then I still get money from it. So you don't really lose. You technically win. You think about it.
Yeah, just keep winning at that point and shit.
You do 3 videos, you get free food, and you're actually getting paid at the end of the day once you post that video, and then they actually transfer you the money,
Yeah,
and
no.
boom.
Yeah, no, that's pretty awesome, man. It's cool to hear something like that for sure um from you and your experiences on that regard. Now, moving it on a little bit or a lot from the sports talk and all the things that are related to that. Um, I wanted to kind of get into your thoughts on, and I suppose also my other co-hosts for sure, because I know they probably have some opinions on this. The pros and the cons of social media and kind of how it's affected our society today, and whether or not it's overall good or bad for society. What would be your thoughts on that question specifically? Where you would have to say social media overall good, overall bad for society.
You gotta look at both sides to it, the pros and cons to it. We can start with the pros. The pros where you can actually meet new people that you never thought you can meet with. You can meet somebody from California. You never thought you'd be the bestest friends to that person, or to Seattle, or for businesses, for example. Look at TikTok for a prime example. Look how many small businesses have provided because of TikTok, and they have thrived through that system. So I can see where it could be great for businesses communicating to other people into society that you wouldn't see, like let's say in everyday life that you see all the time. Now, the negative, it can be addicting though at the same time. Look at going back to TikTok again. How many because we probably have all TikTok here, correct? We all have TikTok, right?
I have it
Yeah,
strict
I
yeah.
barely use
Yeah,
it, but yeah,
I
I
have it
got it.
strictly for the podcast, but I never use TikTok. Because of that
Right.
fact actually, because I got addicted to it at some point.
Yeah, or Instagram or YouTube or whatever. Like you've always noticed that you kind of start scrolling, and the next thing you know, it's like let's say it's 10 o'clock, and then the next thing you know, it's like holy shit, it's 2 a.m. What the hell? You just start getting that dopamine of like more videos and more recommendation. That's how the algorithm keeps you there at the same time. That's his whole goal, is to keep you there, scrolling away through your life, and that realizing, like, oh, shit, this is like an addiction. And that's where the problem could happen, especially the younger people than where I'm at. They get hooked with it. For a prime example, my cousin, she's hooked with the iPad, especially the iPad kids now, where they're on their iPad. They're either on YouTube, they're on Roblox, or on social media altogether, and not really enjoying the interaction more often, and just kind of like conversation where you see like where everybody's out in the neighborhood and interacting, you know. But there's
Yeah,
always a lot of pros and negatives,
yeah,
honestly.
those organic interactions with human beings that don't really happen as often anymore because
Eh,
of social media, gaming and things of this nature. Like it takes away the organic nature of human interaction to me.
it's gonna get worse. It's not gonna improve. It's gonna get worse.
Oh, 100
It's gonna be
percent.
to the point where we're gonna start using goggles like the meta VR
The metaverse and
VR
shit.
sets. Oh yeah, no, it's gonna get worse. Trust me. If you think now, this is just like the tip of the iceberg right now. We haven't even got to like the deep waters of it yet.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna get worse.
No, I agree.
So
And you were
I
speaking a
mean,
little bit about the younger generation as well, and that's kind of going to lead me into my next question. Would you say that, you know, I suppose would you agree with an age limit on or I suppose an age requirement on things like TikTok or Instagram and things of this nature where you have to be over the age of 13 or 14 or 15 to be able to use these things? And if not, do you think that if there was an age limit, would it be better or worse for society? What do you think about that?
let's put it this way for the age limit. If there was an age limit, we were all kids at one point when it says 18 plus. We would just pretend we're 18 and then say a year. because they can just go away with that. I mean, you can have a restriction with the younger, like let's say like between like 2 to 7, because they don't know too much about that. But at
I
some
mean,
point,
you
they'll
you
know
could you
when.
could require an ID though, and then you'd have to.
True. I
Yeah.
mean, there's those circumstances, but if you already done it, but if you haven't, it's kind of simple to get away from that because when it's like, for example, we can go back to that Roblox scenario where it's like, oh, you need to be 13 plus. You could just like, or Facebook. Here's a prime example for me for Facebook. Is that at Facebook at the age of 7? They just lied about my age there. Mother literally lies about the age there and put it, I think 1990 something, and I have Facebook there. And then the days were like Farmville and all that. But that's just a prime example. But of course, I wasn't using it for like or how it is now, where you just everything's all over your feed, like X is right now. But there's key ways. Yeah, you could say, yo, 13. You have to be 13 or plus to order watch this, or TikTok or Facebook, Meta, whatever it is now. But you can kind of get away with that. You can just say like, oh, 18. So let's see, maybe January 7, 2020, whatever. So there's always going to be keyholes that will get through that.
No, for sure. I
So
mean, I think whenever there's some sort of some roadblock, people find a way to get around it. Um, but
yeah, I mean that was just an example there, but
yeah, no, for sure, for sure. I mean, I think it's the same thing with shit. Even with things like the TikTok ban that just happened, my girl,
oh,
she found a way
go
to
ahead.
use some type of VPN or some shit, and she got TikTok on her phone somehow, some way. Like people find a way. At the end of the day.
Hey, you know what's funny about that, Matt? How gullible society is about a social media app. That's what really shows. And it was only gone for 12 hours. Now it still can be banned. They kind of lifted for like 2 months, but still, it just shows you how much people are hooked into the app.
People are so connected, man. So connected today.
Oh, it's
You know
crazy.
why?
And go ahead, Matthew.
I don't mean to cut you off. It's because it's not like when we were younger. It's like you guys said, Facebook, and we had all these things when we were younger. Now there nobody meets up at somebody's house, on their bikes or their cars to play basketball or play sports or things like that. Everything now is sending you this video, sending you this video, sending you this meme, sending you this and that. Nothing. There's no communication anymore. Everything is virtual. There's no more fun. Instead of playing football, you're playing Madden. Instead of going to the park and playing basketball, you're playing 2K. Everything now is technologically advanced, so nobody wants to do anything anymore.
Mhm.
So with the whole ban and everything, I mean, technology is just going to keep upgrading, and it's just going to keep making people lazier and lazier to the point where human contact isn't going to be a thing. It's going to be like how it was in Wall-E, where everyone's just fat, floating on a chair and ordering everything online, or doing everything through a computer. Is no more human anymore.
100%, but I agree with you. I mean, um, the whole idea, or I suppose the whole point in time where it happened a couple months ago, I believe, or actually a couple years ago, where AT&T, I believe it was AT&T, I forgot what company it was, but the whole entire like cellular system, or whatever the case, it just went down. Everything went down. Nobody had cellular, nobody had Wi-Fi, nobody had nothing, and people were going nuts, bro. And that was just one company, but people were going crazy about that shit. Now, I like to have people kind of have this kind of like food for thought. Imagine if the entire like I forgot what the word would be, but the entire electrical interface, I suppose, whatever, everything goes down. Imagine the level that the world would end. The world would come to a fucking end. It really, I believe it really would. People would go crazy. There'd be looting, rioting. I think people would go fucking nuts. We're so connected today that if you were to take away that connection, yeah, people would go nuts. People would go nuts.
Oh,
Because we solely
100%,
rely.
bro.
Yeah, man. That's just and I think that's probably one of the cons of society of social media. We were talking about that. I mean, at the end of the day, humans are very extreme, and there's no way that we had like things like the PS4, the PS3, when technology was kind of just getting started and whatnot. We went from having a nice little healthy balance between playing the game and playing in the park, and having interactions with humans in public and having interactions with human online, to this extreme of just straight online speak and just online interactions and all this type of shit. Consequences are no longer a thing because I can call somebody a slur or some shit on Twitter and nobody can tell me otherwise, and I feel secure because I'm behind my screen in my home or whatever. It's just, it's just society. I think society's been ruined for the most part because of social media. But and I think that leads us to another little topic: misinformation and this social media's part to play in misinformation and fake news and the spreading of those things. Let me ask you a question, man. Do you
Mm.
believe that um, social media platforms should police that type of stuff, or do are you of the mindset that it should be kind of an open field where people can just say whatever they want and it should be allowed, even if they're wrong or even if they're spreading misinformation, it's the freedom of speech, they should allow it? Or do you think that they should be taking that stuff down and kind of policing that speech?
It's a tricky question because whichever you answer, both sides would not agree to it. Or whatever. I mean, you could say, well, there's a freedom of speech, but then everyone say, well, you can't say for radical groups or whichever, the sensitive groups or misinformation on social media could come to a play. It's a lot of things that you gotta be careful what you read because when you think it's true, it's not, and it's trying to create chaos with people because how many people will react to a great good news? Not a lot. But when it comes to bad news, when it comes to affecting their livelihoods, they will get on your ass. Like look at politics. When the new election happened, look at it now. Everyone's like, oh, there's Trump there, and then this and that. I mean, both sides will be both in both iffy there, especially even on social media. Look at X for example. They are more freedom of speech, so everybody has their say. Everybody has their say. I don't want to bring politics into it, but I'm just using that as an example. You know, you see it on X, you see it with the freedom of speech, it can take you. You know, now I don't believe in limiting speech, but of course, reading your mind now. Of course, now social media, everybody has a voice now. Before social media existed, it was only the news that told you what it is. And you kind of believed it. But then now with the more information that's out there, you kind of not know what to believe and what to not to believe.
Yeah, no,
It's
I agree. And I think people have become a little bit, and feel free to voice your opinion on this as well. I feel like people have become a little bit of a um, less free thinkers. They kind of see something on their social media sites and they go, "Oh, yeah, that's definitely the truth." Maddie, what would be your thoughts on whether or not social media and social media sites should police speech or not?
Well, I was well. Here's the thing. It it's hard. I can't say yes, but I can't say no because it's like Ethan was saying, and I didn't want to interrupt. But here's the thing: it's like not to get into politics, but it's like you have a speech, right? And let's say the little 5 second video you see is Trump saying, "Oh, get out of here! You're dumb, this and that." And then it'll be someone saying, "I can't believe he just said this to a reporter. He's this, he's that, this and that." But then if you watch the whole clip, he says, "Oh, and then I was just talking with my buddy, and he said, this and that." So the good and bad thing about about social media is that since it's all clips and videos and pictures, everything and anything could be taken out of context, which makes it
mm,
dangerous because then people who are easily manipulated or they just believe whatever they see, go and they believe that wholeheartedly, and then it could cause problems or with and then they're misinformed because they saw that little clip but they didn't see the whole video, which is like you should police it because you should show the truth, but then again, who's to say that these people aren't expressing their values and you can't take away their right to do that? So it's like they should be policed, but at the same time it shouldn't, because you're able to say what you want to say and post what you want to post, but the truth and reality need to be the main fundamentals of everything, because I can go ahead and post this, right, and I can say I hate McDonald's, right, but then I go out and I get McDonald's. So it's like, but I don't tell you guys. So it's like you can't be two faced with things. You have to show the truth and mean it instead of just saying things out of context instead of getting the full true story. So I'm 50-50 with that, man, because at the end of the day, everyone's able to say what they want to say, but you know, it's complicated, man.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a slippery slope in today, especially in today's climate of, the political climate and the societal climate of these different opposing viewpoints or opposing sides of men versus women, or LGBTQ versus whoever, or like religion versus this, or whatever the case may be. Just all these opposing viewpoints and their need to be right, and posting it all on social media, people are going to get swayed, people are going to get confused. And I think if anything, it falls more on the actual person, the individual themselves, to do the due diligence and go and figure out whether or not what they heard on social media is true or not, and form their beliefs themselves and be independent in that way. But that also gets to a point where people are too preoccupied with life a lot of the time, especially with prices and inflation, how it is today. People, trying to make money and trying to be able to live, and that takes up a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of your attention away from the things that kind of, I suppose, matter a little less, but are still kind of pertinent to society and the making of a good society. Georgie, what are your thoughts on that same question, man? When it comes to social media sites policing speech, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's wrong because everybody should have freedom of speech, even if it's not the speech you're okay with. Because at the end of the day, we do live in America. We don't live in communist China where everything is policed. So I mean, like, if you don't agree with somebody, bro, there's a block button. That's it. Just like on if you're playing a video game and somebody's bullying you online, just mute the person and that's it. Or leave the game and join another game.
Yeah, yeah, that's. I mean, especially coming. I mean, I don't know. I'll speak for myself. Also George, I know for sure. We come from countries that these governments are very oppressive and whatnot, and speech is it's definitely a privilege over here in the states. Keeping that protected is a very big thing. But social media sites have been very key in doing that type of stuff. So, just one last question, I would say, um, about this specific topic. Should social media sites be held responsible for the spreading of misinformation, or do you believe that social media sites are kind of just open forums where people can just put their thoughts out there, and the site themselves should not hold any responsibility towards that?
Oh, 100%. That's like wanting to close down a restaurant because their food is going to raise your cholesterol. It's going to happen. You don't have to eat there. You don't have to go to that restaurant. That's literally it's like going to a steakhouse. Oh yeah, let me get a ribeye, but drench it in salt, oil, and garlic, and then let me get a seasoned French fry, and then let me get garlic rolls, and then let me get a chocolate cake. You go to the doctor. Oh shit, you're diabetic and your cholesterol's through the roof.
Yeah, you got to be
And it's
independent
like,
and you got to do your due diligence, and
exactly. Like it's not the restaurant's fault. The restaurant didn't give you the diabetes and the high cholesterol. You gave it to yourself because you chose to go back and infect yourself. You overdid it, which is what a lot of people don't seem to understand. It's like a lot of things. Like you have to give a disclaimer because you don't know the type of audience that's going to be there. So it's like, hey, I just got to make sure that you people are aware. Hey, you might be offended. If it's not, it's might not be for you. So go ahead and leave. But then there's those people that stay, get offended, and then report you, causing a big issue. You lose your channel. You lose your credibility. You lose this and that. When all the person had to do was just leave.
yeah, man, you got to be free thinkers, got to be independent movers, man, and be able to do your due diligence and be able to see, the truth behind the matters and the necessities and what's required. What do you think about that question, man? Should they be held responsible, or is it more of like a, individual person responsibility thing?
I mostly agree with everything what Matthew says there. It's more like an open source. You kind of choose what you. Put another analogy there. Let's say you go to Las Vegas buffet. you can choose what you want in the buffet, but you don't have to choose everything you see that's on your feed. You could always skip it or block it. But at the same time, though, of course, the individual is aware of what you're posting on social media, because whatever you post on social media will affect you no matter what, whether it's your job, your life. You've seen it where it affects jobs. How many people that probably would have gotten a great job because of social media, you know? And it'd be great jobs, but it's just that one thing they post. But yeah, I mean, of course when the people that do see the content and they get triggered about it, yeah, I mean it's up to them, but of course it all depends on what did the person posted, and is it the offensive to the point where it is nowadays. If it were maybe like years ago, probably people would have laughed it off, like, oh, it's probably dark humor or whatever. But I think it all depends on what the content is. When people are getting triggered with it, you know.
But here's the thing, and I don't mean to interrupt.
Mm.
As
But
we all know, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever social media, all of them, if you press and hold or you click one of the buttons around a post or something, it says not interested, take away from my feed, this and that. But people choose not to do that. And then who's the real issue? What is the real
I
issue?
agree with that. I
Yeah,
agree with that.
because if I don't want to see something, like if I see something I don't like that makes me uncomfortable or I just don't agree with, I press and hold, not interested, and it takes that type of shit out of my algorithm. And then I go
But you
about my
know,
day looking at the stuff I like.
but you know something? People like negative attention. That's the thing. Yeah, they could do that because you can always say, you can put an example like, let's say a girl that like she shouldn't be talking to this guy. You tell her 1,000 times to block, right? But they don't do it because they just like the attention, the negative attention.
Yeah,
People
people love that
biologically
shit.
are attracted to chaos. That's all it is.
Yeah, people love the
That's what it is.
conflict.
Drama.
Yeah, they love the
Like,
conflict. They love the drama. They love all that shit. Yeah, man.
But yet they're the same people that go ahead and say, "Oh, I'm cutting everyone out of my life who's negative because I need to work on myself and I don't need your
Bullshit.
negativity."
Yeah, no,
Those
I
are the
agree.
same people.
Yeah, no, that
yeah.
that's what I'm saying, man. And I mean, shit. I'll tell you what.
And
I love the conflict, debates, stuff like that. I love that shit, man. And I'll say that with I'll say that with my chest. You
there
know
you
what I
go.
mean? But you got to be honest with yourself at some point in time. You keep lying to yourself, you're gonna really feel the negative effects of your lies.
Oh, 100%. You gotta be honest with yourself, but not a lot of people will take accountability of themselves. That's another issue there too. So
Yeah, man.
that's another thing you gotta look at that too.
Everybody's the hero in their own story, of course. Uh, Georgie, what do you think on that, man? Do you believe that social media sites should be held responsible for things like that, or is it more like it's the people, man? You gotta let them say what they want to say,
It's
and
the people, bro.
yeah,
No, just everybody has their opinion, whether you like them or not. I don't know why people get so angry at social media for when it's people that will never say it to your face. They'll just say it online because they know that you're not gonna be able to slap across the face.
yeah,
So they're
that's what I
gonna
was
they're
saying.
gonna say it.
They're so comfortable behind their little screen. Yeah,
Yeah, everybody's comfortable behind a screen. I mean, you'll tell Putin that he's a piece of shit, but you won't tell that to his face because he can kill you.
Okay, but do you guys want to know what social media pretty much is? And I'm
We
sure
don't
we've
know
all
what
seen this
social
at
media
least
is.
once in our life. You have
Go ahead.
two dogs that are separated by a fence. They're barking at each other. You think that the second the gate opens, they're gonna rip each other apart. But what happens once the gate is opened? They do absolutely nothing. That's how people are. Oh, they'll talk. They'll leave nasty comments. They'll leave slurs. They'll disrespect you, your family, this and that, your physical appearance and beliefs and whatever. But the second, like, if you were to meet up in real life, oh, I was just saying because I was mad, this and that. People, that's what people do. That's what social media is. It's a conduit for acting tough when in reality you're not. That's why you hide behind your screen and talk all that mad stuff.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead, eat. Go ahead, go ahead.
And there's most of those people that won't do nothing at all. They're just like you said, like, oh, hey, how's it going? I always want your autograph, sign here on my yearbook. But then there's some that will do it. That what they threat, they will go through their plans on that, and it can be interesting there. I did have like one experience where someone actually found my phone number, actual phone number, started texting me, and started spam calling me, trying to threaten me and say like, "Oh, I know where you live," blah blah blah
You talking about
blah.
you talking about
You
like a
know,
viewer?
yeah, no,
Oh,
not
that's
even a
crazy.
viewer. It's just a random person that just wanted just was just hating on me and actually had nothing better to do than to find my actual phone number and actually try to call me, try to get me to talk and all that. And that's a true story. You know, no bullshit. And you know, I ignored it. You know, why waste my time on someone that doesn't even know who I am? Why waste the time and energy? I just told them, I hope you have a great rest of your day and good luck to you. You kill them with kindness at the end of the day. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, man.
but things like that could happen. Especially those sites, and that's another topic for another day with data breaches and all that with TikTok and all that with social media. But things like that, for example, people with the wrong hands, trust me. But like what Matthew said, most of them won't say it to your face, but some would actually will try to do it to your face.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with the guys as well. I mean, I think women work that way where they'll talk shit, and that the way they fight is psychologically, man, and they'll try to beat you and break you down psychologically with insults and jokes your way and shit like that. Men do it a little differently. We actually go physical with it. You know what I mean? And I think in today's society, it's a little taboo to fight somebody. Obviously you fight somebody and you're looked at a certain way. You know what I mean? And I think that's just our natural imperative, though, as men. We want to fight people. We want, at the end of the day, we are, in our primal biological nature, we're driven towards the fight, and we do it online because we feel like we won't get caught and we won't be stigmatized by society. But if we do it in public, we'll definitely be stigmatized, and people care a little bit more about their attention or their public image than their biological needs in that way.
Oh,
But yeah.
100%. It's like a early 2000s COD lobby. That's how we work.
Exactly,
It's
bro.
literally,
Exactly.
it's
MW2
literally.
shit.
And one more thing to add on to it, I really do feel bad for the female content creators that go out there. Not the OnlyFans. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the actual people that actually want to stream, to their audience or actually make a purpose out of it. Like they get hit on by men, and then there's like no, and there's always those creeps that will actually take it to a full notch to that approach. They're mad, and
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean,
something you always gotta look at, also in the social media aspect too.
no, 100%, 100%. And I mean, I'll keep it a buck though. I think women do play into that
Mm-hmm.
shit a little too much. Women they're very beautiful creatures a lot of the time, and they play into
A
that
lot
hand
of
a
the
lot.
time.
There's some ugly ass bitches out there, but for the most
Oh
part,
my
for the
goodness.
most part, in what
Oh
we're
no.
in like social media and stuff, there's a lot of beautiful women in social media, and they use that shit a little bit too much, man. And I feel like when you're complaining about the objectification that men are giving you, they're like, they're objectifying you sexually, whatever the case. A lot of the time, these women bring it upon themselves. But I definitely do feel bad for the ones that don't bring it upon themselves. But it's just the way shit works in social media, where you're a woman in social media, immediately you're either sexualized or you're reduced to you got to go back to the kitchen type shit. Which shit, I would agree with it, but whatever, it
Oh
is what it is.
my god.
No, but that's just the life of social media for a woman, and at the end of the day, like I said, a lot of them feed into that objectification shit. I mean, you can't in one side of your face complain about it, and then in another side of your face feed into it, But regardless, that's just yeah, that's just how kind of it works. Like, oh shit, sorry guys, I dropped my pencil. Let me pick it up here while I arch my back and show you my ass. It's like, okay, and then some guy's gonna say, "Oh, show us your ass," and then you're like, oh, why would you objectify me like that? Like, that's so disrespectful. All right, bro. You brought it upon yourself. You know what I mean? But no, it is what it is. Any
Oh
any
Lord.
any any final thoughts from you guys on the social media talks and whatnot?
Social media, well, being as it already does monitor and it does police what you say already, I think it's kind of pointless to talk about it because Instagram and Facebook already do that shit. I've known so many people that they don't even, it's not even political, but they say something, and all it takes is one person that they might not like them, or they just they got into a fight, report them, and sorry, you've been reported for ill use or
hateful
offensive
speech or some
content.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah, so it already does that shit.
dude, I remember that one time when I first tried to follow George on Instagram. It literally gave me a disclaimer, like, oh, this account usually posts misinformation. Are
Yeah,
you
I
sure you want
remember
to
that
follow him?
too.
Oh
Yeah.
wow,
I was like,
really?
yeah, it gave me that like disclaimer. I was like, bro, what? I'm just trying to follow my homie
That's
here,
the
and
first.
you're giving me a damn disclaimer about this man. But
Hey,
no,
disclaimer: your friend is not truthful.
yeah, disclaimer.
Like,
Your friend is your friend is
It's
not a
because
good friend.
I was sharing a lot of political things and they didn't like it.
Yeah, man,
oh yeah, I mean,
it's crazy.
especially social media, they get very sensitive with anything with politics.
Yeah, man. Well, before we wrap up, one last quick, I guess fire question. Top three. This is for you, E. Top three coins that you're invested in right now. Go ahead.
Coins? No, I'm not into crypto, so that's probably a. But we
Oh,
can
you're
go.
not
We
into
can go with.
crypto?
No, I mean, I have a story with that. If you want to hear the story of why I'm not into crypto
Yeah,
anymore.
let's hear it, bro. Let's hear the story. Go ahead.
So, but if you want, but before I answer that, let me go back to the top three: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. If I were to go back into it today,
Okay. Okay.
but
And the story?
transitioning back to the story there. So I started way back 2020. So this is kind of where the pandemic is. First time investing, and I didn't know too much. When you're young, I was what at the time? I was 19 at the time, just trying finding into investing there. I thought crypto was going to be better than the stock market, and it was a new thing. Didn't have to be regulated by the government, and and it was putting a lot of money into the crypto space because I had a bunch of stocks there that I didn't know. I would just follow a YouTuber and he'd tell me what to get. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fine, at any price. That's probably where I didn't do no due diligence whatsoever. I got some NFTs. Now I'm grateful that I didn't got that from anybody from those celebrities and all that, but especially the FTX when the FTX commercial Super Bowl came out, I really thought like, oh, crypto solidified right here. This is the thing right here. And then we all know what happened with FTX. It went downhill. I lost some money there. I'm not ashamed to say what I lost. It was a few thousands. I'll definitely say that. It wasn't like a lot of money, but it still hurt. You know, Especially you're not gonna see that money back, and that's the risk you take when you invest. You invest in hoping that's gonna be the best, but it's not. You know, and then the only thing like do I feel crypto's gonna be there forever? I think so. But do I feel at some point these need some regulations? Yes, just because let's say you lost your wallet, your crypto wallet, right? Or you get hacked or whatever. You can never get that money back whatsoever. That's the risk you take. You can have like a lot of Bitcoin, right? And you may lose that, and then that's it. It can't be recovered, unlike stocks. But that was my story there, and I haven't really got back to the crypto market. But if I did, I had to go back into crypto market. I really like Bitcoin. I really do see where that's going. Of course, right now the crypto market is up high right now. Everyone's on euphoria right now currently. So Bitcoin, Ethereum is second, and then Solana. Correct me if I'm saying this wrong or not. Solana is doing very well right now, and I really do feel those three coins will be great if I were to invest into the crypto market again.
Yeah, man. Those three. I mean, Bitcoin obviously is always going to be the king of that thing, but for sure, I mean, crypto at this moment in time is very it's a tough market to get into. Definitely, it's a tough
Oh
one.
yeah, and if you have, here's my advice. Definitely, if you're gonna go into that market, do your due diligence on those companies. You know, or what their mission is. Do you believe they're gonna be there in the next 5 years? Or more. Because if you're just gonna go in there and say, oh, let me just get like 3 or 5 crypto coins and then just call it as it is, it may not work out for you, and maybe it won't work out at all. That's the risk you take as well. But you gotta have that case, that due diligence, and that case of saying, hey, I really like this. I see from let's say 100,000 to maybe 1 million in the next 10 years. You never know. Things could happen, but that's just like a high bull case, but it could happen,
Yeah, no, like
But
it's
you
a
got you got
high risk
a
industry to get
reward.
into.
I mean, the way it goes is wealth is made in bear markets, recognize in bull markets, Matt. So what does that mean? People realize that when crypto goes high, that's when everyone starts piling the money in. Everybody in the and you hear people that you never thought they would get into it. Like, let's say like it's your mom, your uncle, your tío, tía, abuela, and like, what the hell? That's how you know, yeah, okay, this is starting to get a little bit crazy, you know. But when people are against the grain, that's kind of where money is recognized. Now, of course, the better companies will do great, and you can say the same thing with the stock market too. In this case with crypto, I'll say with that.
Yeah, no, for sure, man.
Use the same effect there as well.
Yeah, and moving on to the stock markets. What are your top three stocks right now? The biggest movers for
Ooh.
you.
So my bigger movers. So I'll look at my stock portfolio right now. I have Nvidia. That actually was a great stock that I got when it was at 260, 500. That's helped my portfolio heavily there. I really do feel Nvidia is still going to be there in the run. They produce GPUs. They run AI. They really have 95% of the GPU market. That beats AMD's ass a lot. And Intel. Everybody knows what Intel is. That's an American company that is like lagging heavily right now. And Nvidia, they do gaming, believe it or not. Nvidia started by gaming, believe it or not. Just a little fun fact. When they started, it was all gaming. And then they kind of produced it into the GPUs, to the AI, and into automobiles. That's gonna be another thing right now because right now, if you really look into Nvidia's investor relations right now and go to presentations, automation is very low right now. With the talks of autonomous driving, that you hear on the news, like with Uber and Tesla. Everybody knows how Tesla is with the robo taxis and all that. But Nvidia will actually have a play there, especially bringing all those car companies together and bringing more autonomous into the driving. That's gonna be the next big thing for the automobile.
So
That's
you
that's
say
my
that's your number one right there.
that's my number one as of right now. The Vita, if you don't own it right now, now of course if you try to buy it right now, it's a little bit risky because where it's at currently, because it's been crushing the market forever for like a long time for about what 2 years now. But if you hold it for a long time, even before that, you're literally crushing it right now. But you take the risk there because right now, if you look at where Nvidia is at right now, it's closed right now 128.68. Now it could go up to 165. You make it a little bit more cash on that, but you take the risk of being high PE ratio. It kind of goes more back to fundamentals, which of course gets back to due diligence on how much you really believe do you see Nvidia going to 200. Because right now it's at a 3 trillion market cap right now. It's close to Apple. Let's put it that way. So that's where due diligence come into play there, Matt.
Yeah, no, for sure, for
But
sure.
that's my number one there. My second one, if I had to say, would be Tesla. Now, of course, Tesla could be a little bit out of the ordinary there because of who's the leader with Elon Musk. He can pull strings there. Uh, do I agree with some things that he does on social media? No, I feel like that's dumb as hell. But but I really like because Tesla is not only a car company. Because when everybody talks about Tesla, what do you think of? Honestly,
Yeah, the
what do you think of
vehicles, the
when you think of
electric
Tesla?
vehicles for sure.
Electric vehicles. Matthew, what do you think? Oh, when you think of Tesla?
Yeah, the first thing I think of when you say Tesla is the car.
Yeah, everybody knows that like oh it's a car company. It's nothing more than that. No, there is a lot more into Tesla than what people think outside the box. When you really dig deep into Tesla, what they're trying to do, so they're into energy, so that's where EVs come into play. Energy storage is there. They've done with solar, which actually the previous quarter they've actually done a lot better with the energy source there. Robo taxis is what they're trying to produce, even though they haven't got one out in the market yet. Right now, that's kind of more Google's Waymo right now in autonomous driving, but they're planning there. The robots, if anybody has heard about the iRobot thing
Oh yeah,
from Tesla,
I've been seeing that shit on
I,
On Kai Cenat's stream and shit like that.
yeah,
The Twitch people have been doing that.
but that's gonna come. That's gonna come in the next few years. Now they're banking on that, of course, but there's a lot more things that in Tesla that you can be excited about the next 5 years than just being a car company. Yeah, that's gonna be part of their system. That's gonna be part of the revenue, the cars and automobiles, and the autonomous driving. But that's gonna be something where you look back as like, damn, I should have got that right now. Now, of course, you gotta see where you want to get that at.
Yeah, no, for
Honestly.
sure. And now final one, number three. What would that be?
Ooh. Third one here. This is tricky because there's a lot of good ones that I have, but if I had to say another one would be Amazon. Why do I say Amazon right now? Now I could have said Broadcom, but that would be like as an extra pick there. But we'll go with Amazon right now. Amazon, they are the kings right now in retail, and they're just not in retail because everybody, when you think of Amazon, you think of, oh, it's kind of like a UPS where they get retail. Let's say I get, like, I don't know, some bars from Amazon and delivers to my house, and that's it. They play a lot, especially with the e-commerce. They play, especially Walmart. Why do you think Walmart is now doing like with Instacart and etc. with all those companies there? Because Amazon is going to try to eliminate them. If they don't adapt, they get cut
Yeah,
out.
they're trying to get the
Oh,
the
and
e market value and ordering online and getting that shit
and,
shipped to you and stuff. Yeah, trying to
and
move
then
into that.
you gotta think of cloud services. Think of, like, with Google Cloud, for example. We know what Google Cloud is. Everybody uses that, but AWS is literally number one in cloud service out of all of them, including Microsoft Azure. Because you got to think about it, that is the king. That's the butter that they've been getting for their growth, and they have a lot of pots there. They even have MGM. They even bought MGM. They have gotten they're a little bit into the Thomas, but not really too much there. They're also trying to get into AI chips, which you may be wondering, what the hell is the AI chip and all that. Those are the chips you kind of see that we use in technology ever. Whether it's your computer, this microphone I'm talking to you right now, your phone, the video games, etc. They're trying to get into that, especially because the situation is this. This goes back to NVIDIA. Why is NVIDIA succeeding right now? Because all the Mega 7 caps, which is Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Tesla, even Tesla, are paying, and Meta too, are paying for NVIDIA for the GPUs so they can run for their AI. Because you've probably seen, like, for a few example, like if you have like Microsoft Word, you might see Copilot or Gemini on Google, just kind of giving like some familiarity there. That eats up all their money there. But what Amazon, Microsoft, and Google are trying to do is make their own chips, so they don't have to spend that much money there. And that's where all the Broadcom and Marvel comes into play there. But that's why I'm really bullish on those three there. Those are my three that if I had to say, that would be it
Yeah,
right there.
man.
Nvidia right
No,
now,
those are some big ones, man.
Amazon, and
Yeah,
Tesla.
Nvidia, Amazon, Tesla, those are some big ones. I mean, the stock market, another one of those things is very you got to know about that type of stuff, and it's very interesting stuff
It,
to get into. But yeah, man. Besides that, this show definitely it was a good show for sure. But we're gonna start wrapping up now. Uh, thank you guys so much. First and foremost, thank you very much to E. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it very much. I think I could speak for my other two co-hosts. We definitely appreciate you coming on, man. It was definitely an honor to have you on, bro. It was a good show for sure.
Yes, it really
you know,
was. We do appreciate it very much, Ethan.
Yeah, I like the stock market thing. I've never been involved in it, but I don't know. I might look into it.
oh yeah, oh, trust me, we could talk more after this. But I appreciate y'all. Really, this is definitely good. Go right back into the podcast. It's been a while. Honestly, it's been a while, but I love it. Hey, if you want me to bring me back for another future time, let me know and I'll be available.
Dude, 100%, man. You've been a phenomenal guest, and for sure, we'd love to have you back on. I think I can speak for both of my co-hosts here when I say that. But it was definitely a good episode, and you have been a phenomenal guest. Um, Thank you guys so much for listening and tuning in. If you listened to the whole thing, we appreciate you so very much. And if you can't catch the full shows, make sure to follow us on our clips channels, our Instagram, TikTok. Here on YouTube, we also post our clips. So check those out. Just kind of get the best bits of each episode in those clips. Again, we appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys are interested in being guests on the show, you guys want to come on and have conversations with us like E was able to come on here as well and do this. If you guys are interested in coming on, having being guests and having conversations, debates, you disagree with us, you want to iron those things out, make sure to shoot us a DM on Instagram at CatFiveBoys, and we'll iron out the details, show us your interest, and we'll get there and we'll be able to get you on the show. Make sure to drop a like on the video on YouTube. Make sure to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to us. Do all the things that you got to do there. Subscribe, hit the like button, And make sure to drop comments, guys. You have anything you guys have on your mind, drop it in the comments. We love to answer those. We always look at them, and in the next episode, we always talk about the comments that show up on there. So feel free to do that as well. Uh, hey, let them know where they can find you, man, on Instagram, TikTok, wherever they can find you, man. Let them know.
Of course, of course. So where you can find me at, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and on YouTube will be either E on the mic or E on the mic S at the end, where you can find me on all those 3 platforms as well. I will be making a live stream this upcoming spring in April. So stay tuned for that. I do want to start doing that every Wednesday. So stay tuned for that.
That's dope, man. We're definitely gonna be looking at that stuff too, man. But it's been, like I said, it's
Alright,
been an honor.
beautiful.
It's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on, man. We appreciate you very
Yes,
much. Of course,
sir.
all the links are gonna be in the description for his accounts and everything. Um, but yeah,
What
so
happened? Everybody's quiet now.
Georgie,
We're still
you're
recording. I still see the recording button.
yeah. Oh wait, can you guys hear me?
Now
I
we
can hear
can.
you.
Yeah,
Oh
I can hear
shit.
you.
Sorry, I was speaking. I
So,
guess I didn't press on the. I guess I didn't press to be able to be heard on Discord. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching again. We appreciate it very much. God bless each and every one of you. And yeah, good night, guys.
Have a good night,
Night.
everybody.
good night.
Have a good night, everybody.